What is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I am here tonight by myself again. Avery is sick, so we're going to party together, just you and me. Tonight, we're going to talk about our Dynasty rankings, our updates, everything normal, again, going on tonight, doing live team blueprints, doing trade questions, all that jazz. Again, talking about risers, fallers. Again, feel free in the comments to drop what your what players you want me to highlight or talk about in the rankings and stuff. I'm all ears here. I'm assuming there are a number of guys that I'm guessing you want me to talk about, like I'm sure Rondé Gadsden again this week, seeing where we were probably going to solidify him in our rankings. But yeah, appreciate you all joining and coming in tonight. Hope your feels better. Yes, me too. Stomach bug sucks, man. Absolutely miserable. We got Thunder Chief in here. We got Jason. What's up, Jason? We got KMXDB. We got Waka Maverick. We got Natasha. We got CJ Jackson. We have Moby Ditka. Paralike Y. Just bought Puka for downs. Harvey and 3 first. Screw it, we ball. Yeah, man, I don't blame you on that. I actually just made a trade for Puka in a certain league today as well. Wink, wink, hint, hint. By AJ Brown right now? Question mark. Yeah, I think it depends on what your team build is. I mean, if you're a contender and you want to get like a high production upside wide receiver, then I'm totally fine with you making that move. Aiden's in here, Vice City. Who do you think has a better 2-year outlook, Jordan Mason or Rico Dowdle? Ooh, ugh. They're both pretty ugly, I can't lie. I think Rico Dowdle is just straight up better. So I would probably say Dowdle. If anybody, and just thinking like team situation wise as well, like if anybody is going to be there and not be replaced by a running back in the draft, I would probably bet on Dowdle not being replaced next year because the Panthers have so many other things they need to address. Realistically, I see the Vikings either signing or drafting a running back, or Mason's kind of irrelevant again, but that's a good question. Yeah, this is happy birthday. Thanks. It's not my birthday, but I appreciate it. Appreciate the well wishes, Jacob and KT Aggie. I hope to see y'all Thursday or Friday. What's up, Avery? Keep sleeping. All right. How are you feeling? Are you dead? I haven't heard from you since I heard from you earlier today. Oh, also, Avery, check the Flock League chat and tell me if you think I'm like the biggest idiot of all time again. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know if you have to have as crazy, like not crazy, as big of an opinion, like being so adamantly like for or against Society Sal is right now. But I want to know what you think, because I didn't consult a lot of people in this trade. I consulted 2 people on this trade, 2 people that I think I tend to trust with fantasy deals, redraft deals, but. Smash that like and subscribe to help Avery feel better. Heck yeah. Let's do that. Okay, so let's go over. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go over to the rankings, and let's look at making some changes here. All right, we are over on the rankings, and again, I saw a question earlier. Actually, I wanted to answer this one. We had a question from DDS, said, I got a blueprint from you guys on one of my rosters. If I wanted to sign up for a live one for a different team, how do I do that? So DD, if you follow this link that I'm dropping in the comments right now, it's also pinned in the comments of the YouTube chat. Follow that link and you're going to select the live team blueprint option. If you are not a member on the site, I would highly recommend it. It's going to be the best value by far. If you sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier using code domain, it's like 10 more bucks than if you were to buy a live blueprint as a non-member, and you get all the perks of being a member on the site, with all the site tools, with Discord access, our community access, one-on-one access to Avery and I on Discord as well. But both of those options are there. So you can get a free team blueprint, free live team blueprint if you sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier. If you already are an annual Mother Flocker member, then you can just buy the a la carte live team blueprint option, which is the second one there on that bit.ly link. Let me know if you have any questions on that. Thanks for your help, David. I guess I just don't see how it helps you, but it's not that bad. I just think you're better off with the package. Yeah, no, that's a fair argument. I totally, like, I have no issue with that opinion at all. To be completely honest, half the reason that I did it was just to get my favorite player of all time on my team so I could semi-enjoy the rest of the season. The other reason that I did it is of the 4 or 5 weeks that I had Addison and Jefferson together, I could barely get them to score more than 30 to 35 points combined. And I mean, there's a reason I'm 3-5, and it's because of the guys that I currently have on my team. So I just need to shake it up. I'm done with it. I'm tired of waiting for these guys to pop off because they're not gonna save my team. I don't think anything's gonna save my team at this point. DDS said, oh yeah, I already mentioned that, or I already answered that. All right, let's go to our rankings here. Yeah, no problem, DDS. Okay, here we go. Boom. So let's talk about, let me move my cam over so you can actually see all the guys here. Boom. There we go. I'm gonna move to the right. Let's start at tight end. And again, feel free to drop in the comments, guys, what players you want me to like really highlight and talk about here. But I do want to start with Gadsden because, again, I was semi-aggressive with where I ranked him last week at tight end 12. Because honestly, I just believe in his situation. I believe in what he's been able to showcase because we liked him as a prospect before the draft, and then his draft capital kind of tanked our opinion of him, which it shouldn't have because we liked him. But I mean, honestly, at this point, again, once you get beyond like your top 6, top 7 guys, really top 8, it's kind of a wash. I have zero issue putting Gadsden all the way up there back to back with Colson Loveland, if not higher. Like there's no reason in my eyes with the tight end landscape and the way it's been for years and years and years to not just go ahead and put Gadsden top 10. Like what mistake really are we making outside of just being slightly wrong and him having to fall back down to like the teens? He's already done enough and so much more than so many of these other tight ends in the teens have done at this point, and they're already ranked there because again, there's just no tight ends that are really giving you a competitive advantage. And right now Gadsden is one of those guys that gives you a positional competitive advantage. So that's my opinion on Gadsden. Again, tell me if you think I'm like just absolutely crazy. But I don't know, man. Like if he continues to do this, I mean he'll be right up there with Laporta and Kraft as well. What's up, Falky? Thanks for stopping in, man. Hope I'm feeling good. Yeah, I'm feeling fine now. We'll see how I feel in a day or so. JSN could easily be Dynasty wide receiver 1 now. Yeah, he totally could be. Again, this is why we have that massive expanding tier of like the number 1 or the top tier in Dynasty for wide receivers. Like there's just there's not a big enough difference between any of those guys up top. If you want to put JSN literally at wide receiver 1, I have no problem with that whatsoever. I mean, as far as the rest of the tight ends go here, I don't think there's been any other huge risers. Like Fannin has seemed to kind of establish himself as a top 10 Dynasty tight end as well, right there by Gadsden, just in a less ideal situation. But other than that, I mean, pretty solid. Pretty solidified, I should say. No other crazy movers there. Seen a lot of questions about, oh yeah, where should Jake Ferguson be? I already have Jake Ferguson at tight end 4. You could flip him and Tucker Kraft. I have no issue with that, but kind of talked about him quite a bit. Let's talk about Scadaboo. Scadaboo just went down with the injury. That's a good one to talk about. Scadaboo obviously loses his ankle. It gets chopped in half. Pretty brutal, honestly. Pretty brutal. And where we had him, and we were starting to get pretty aggressive with his ranking, I think we were going to get to a point where we were going to have him right up there, inching closer to Quinshon. Now, with him missing the rest of the season, I mean, I can't lie, guys. I'm not really dropping him much further than where I already had him because I felt like we were being relatively conservative to begin with. If you want Brees and Henderson over Scat right now because of the short-term implications and short-term production upside that they could offer, I mean, Henderson could offer. He might not even be offering this season at all. I'll move Scatterboo down to 15, but I don't think I can drop him any lower. If you want CMC over Scatterboo, that's fine, just as a contender. But I can't drop him any lower than the rest of these guys, right? I'll move up Javonte a spot. Harvey looking pretty solid with his limited amount of opportunities. His opportunities haven't really gone up at all. He's just really starting to capitalize on it quite a bit, which is a good sign for him. I mean, he's doing what Henderson has not managed to do with his limited opportunity. But yeah, like really, I can't drop Scat. I think Scatterboo's I think Scatterboo has done enough, and that was a dislocation again, so we'll kind of see what ends up happening in terms of rehab long term. I know everyone's going to be like, well, Godwin, missed the beginning of the following season because of his ankle dislocation. I mean, number one, Godwin's 30 years old. He has a history of injuries. There was a lot of structural damage and stuff. Not a ton has really come out about Scatterboo's injury outside of, hey, it was just dislocated. Generally, those dislocations look a lot grosser than they end up, than like the actual long-term repercussions end up actually being not as ugly as the initial appearance. It's not like a compound fracture type of thing, right? Where you're just like, holy crap, that guy's never coming back. Like, Scatterboo doesn't necessarily have the skill set of like I'm so shifty and I'm going to juke the crap out of you. Like, no, he's just going to abuse you. He's kind of a straight line punishing running back that doesn't necessarily depend on a lot of lateral quickness. So for an ankle injury of that caliber, it's like, yeah, I would be more concerned if his bread and butter was like a, just a super juke heavy running back. And I don't think that's what he depends on to be successful long-term. Not to mention his receiving upside is still very much going to be there. So again, I think he's kind of going to settle in the mid-teens here, and I think that's very merited. I think he's done enough this season, more than we ever expected this season, honestly, from Scatterboo. Enough to keep him here and settle in. Trey Benson going to be back in a week or two. He's not eligible to come off of IR this week, but he should be next week. So we'll see what happens there. DeAndre Swift at this point, I'll probably rank over Alvin Kamara and Montgomery. Again, just short-term productive running backs, just taking the most productive guys at the moment. Walker, I can't rank him any lower right now just because of the market is going to favor him so heavily when he goes somewhere else next year, regardless of what my opinion is of him. Chase Brown. So a question about Chase Brown here. Yeah, this guy said Gadsden's ceiling is massive. He's just a giant wide receiver. Yeah. No, that's what I really liked about him as a prospect in college was I thought he moved a lot better than most tight end prospects do, given his size. So, what do we do with Jaylen Warren at this point? Do we rank him over Monty and Kamara? Again, I feel like I view all these guys kind of in the same tier. I don't think his long-term outlook is much better than any of these guys. I'll give him the nod because he's producing. But, yeah, I mean, I'm just very, very low on Chuba and Chase Brown. Maybe a little too low here. I'd probably put Kamara below and Monty below. But yeah, I just don't view much difference between these guys from 20, from Walker all the way from probably from ETN all the way down to like Alvin Kamara. Bring Charbonnet up a bump. But yeah, nothing super wonky here. Again, continue to feel free to drop who you want us to talk about in these rankings. Charbonnet too low, you think? Yeah, I mean, he could be a riser, especially if Walker leaves Seattle next year. The issue is, are they going to stick with him as the number one running back, or are they going to bring somebody else in? Can Charbonnet really be that number one bell cow running back? And I think he can be. Will he be? I don't know. It's just really, really hard to talk about, or it's really, really hard to pinpoint and nail down right now. Let's move over to wide receiver here. Let's talk about a few guys. Avery was just saying JSN could be as high as wide receiver 1. I agree. In fact, I'll give him the nod over Amon-Ra. Again, I don't see much difference between any of these guys. Really scared to do this, but I'm going to do it for now. Again, because they're in a tier right now. Since I view this as a tier, since I view 1 to 5, 1 to 6 in a tier, just going to give the nod to the guys who are actually producing at a high level, and Justin Jefferson right now is a wide receiver 2 in fantasy football. Rashee Rice at this point, I would probably take over Tet McMillan. I mean, he's looking the part, just like we thought. As good as we thought he was capable of being, fresh off this suspension. I think he's right there with London, Odunze Igbuka, and Rashee Rice. Whoever you prefer in that range, take who you want there. I mean, I think Rashee is a borderline top 10 Dynasty wide receiver if you wanted to be top 10 Dynasty. In Dynasty, I have no issue with that at all. Lat McConkey is kind of settled to 16. I'll put him back over Marv. And honestly, his situation is less volatile and less question marks in LA than in Jacksonville. I'll give him the nod over BTJ at the moment. Rum is way too high. Just traded Rum Benson and 1 for Amon-Ra. Why do you think Rome is too high? Rome, I believe, is a wide receiver 1 this season so far. Borderline. He's a wide receiver 14 right now. I mean, he's been very, very productive. He's had that jump that we expected. He's got, I think, like three or 4 years on Amon-Ra right now. So, not bad. Why do I have Nico so low? If you want to take Nico over Marv, I have no issue with that. Top 16 for sure. But I realistically, honestly, I can't really put him that much higher. I think Tet's value insulation is much better than Nico Collins. Nico Collins. I feel like Jerry Jones. I'm talking about a guy that I'm like not ultra high on, so I'm like, Michael Parson. But no, with Nico Collins, he just doesn't have the value insulation long term that all these other guys above him have. And he is significantly older than every single one of them. So again, I don't really care about his age. He's 26 and a half, going on 27. And like, I don't have an issue with that age. The Dynasty community does, though. Look no further than AJ Brown, right? AJ Brown, just a cap ceiling heading into his 27, 28-year-old season because he's 27, 28 years old. And that severely caps his value ceiling in Dynasty. So yes, that's a good one. Let's talk about Michael Pittman. I think looking at this kind of the mid-range of wide receivers here, I think we're all very close. Do I have Pickens too low? I don't think I have Pickens too low. I probably had Worthy too high. Take Hunter over Worthy too. Take Olave over Worthy. I like Worthy, but I just don't think I don't think what he's offering you is going to be much greater long-term than what you're getting out of most of these other wide receiver twos who are all pretty insulated in their respective situations. So I'll just put him at the bottom of the tier for now. I still have him in the same tier. But yeah, let's talk about Pittman. That's a good combo to have. Michael Pittman right now, I have a wide receiver 35 behind Adams and Sutton. He is, I believe, 28 years old. Here, just get a load of this, guys. Let's look at this. Pittman. Michael Pittman currently is wide receiver 6 on the year. Now, part of that is going to be because he hasn't had his bye week yet, so low on wide receiver 1, high on wide receiver 2. Very similar to what we've seen before in the past from Pittman. He is 28 years old. Definitely on the older side of wide receivers, so value ceiling is capped. But again, when you're talking about contending wide receivers' value and what they're offering you in terms of production, I think it's very, very solid. I think it's right there in line with Sutton and Adams for sure. If you want Pittman over QJ, I don't blame you. This is probably where I draw the line, though. I stand by my Dynasty ranking for Michael Pittman right now. I don't think I can put him much higher than like a top 36 Dynasty wide receiver. I've got him right in this tier of all these like value volatile. Like regardless of what your opinion is on a guy like Michael Pittman, he can only gain so much value and maintain it heading into the offseason. It's just the reality of market value for guys in that price range. Khalil Shakir has been quietly very solid this year as well, kind of continuing on what he did last season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double-digit games of the 7 games that they've played this season. Again, my opinion hasn't changed much on Shakir. He's kind of a high floor type of guy. I like him, man. I got to move Evans down, obviously, because of the injury. Got to move him down a lot. Probably down below Jaden Higgins. Yep, that's probably where I'd take him. Jalen Knoll I need to pull up as well. Godwin needs to come down. Probably pull Godwin down to just above Jerry Jeudy. But yeah, Shakir I think jumps all those guys. I think he's right there with Keon Coleman. Probably take Burden over both these guys. I think Shakir and Downs are very comparable at this point in time, and Shakir gets a little more volume consistently. DJ Moore, I'm hesitant to drop him down any lower because I do think he'll be going to greener pastures next season. That's just kind of reading the room there in that situation in Chicago. But yeah, sucks for Mike Evans going down with the season-ending injury. Makes whatever short-term productive dynasty value that he offered just essentially irrelevant at this point. How are we feeling about Troy Franklin? Well, here's the thing with Troy. Troy just dropped 25 points on my head this week. Felt really, really good. We've had 3 double-digit games from Troy Franklin to date so far this season. 9, 8, 10, and 8 targets with 6, 4, and 5, and 4 targets. Very up and down for Troy Franklin. I don't think his skill set merits like a very high, consistently high upside outlook rest of the season. We've got a tud against Indy, a tud against the Giants, 2 tuds against Dallas. I don't think it's coincidence that he's touchdown or bust here. I view him very similar to Shaheed. Where do I have Troy Franklin right now? Where are you at, buddy? Definitely need to pull him up higher than this. Happy to do that. But again, like, I don't know. I'm just not the biggest Troy Franklin believer long term. You can call me crazy, but it's just the reality. I kind of have him. I've got him in this tier that I need to move up. By the way, a lot of deep threats in the league that can get some strong target volume every once in a while. If you flex them, maybe they'll have a big day. And I think that really is Shaheed, Franklin, Leggett, and Pierce. I think that's kind of what they offer. Let's head over to QB. Jaden Daniels we got at QB3 right now. Again, I think everything up here is pretty solidified. I think at this point, if you want to take May, I would put May. Honestly, I rank May over Daniels. Call it recency bias. I like Daniels, but best ability is availability. And right now, Drake May is available. And he's looking as good as Daniels did last season. I'm doing it, guys. bumping Jones over Penix and Ward. The report came out before the Tennessee game that the Colts were looking to extend Daniel Jones long term. And again, we've been through this saga before with Daniel Jones, like, oh, extensions don't really matter. That is very true. That is a very fair point. None of these guys down here really have much insulation beyond whatever contract they currently have. And at that point, again, this is where we do care a lot about just their production and what they're offering on the table right now. And that is, I mean, Daniel Jones, by far and away, the most productive, the most consistent, the most reliable quarterback that you feel great about having in your starting lineup every single week. QB 6 on the year. This will be his best year by far in the NFL. QB 6 on the year with JT having like 50 million rushing touchdowns. Darnold has been a big mover. You are correct. I would take Darnold over Lawrence. I'd take Darnold over McCarthy right now. Darnold is pretty close to where Jones is, in my opinion, where he'll probably start jumping them soon. Realistically, I don't really trust Murray any more than I do Jones, and he's not producing nearly as much. Stroud right there. I think Jones belongs right there where Stroud is. Then Darnold, if you want to give the nod over Penix and Ward, I have no issue with that. I'm probably a week or two away from doing that as well. Had a little oopsie week with Sam Darnold against Houston that made you a little uneasy, but again, I would like to see like a full. We have seen a full season of Darnold looking very good, but close to a full season of him just being very consistent, playing very consistent, solid quarterbacking in that situation. Tyler Shuck actually is going to be the starting QB moving forward for the New Orleans Saints. We kind of had him ranked accordingly, assuming that he was eventually going to get the starting opportunity there. Spencer Rattler, we never really ranked super high. We knew he was going to be a Band-Aid starter. Spencer Rattler finally gets benched. He's right there with Geno. Sure, if you want to take Tyler Shuck, take the shot on Tyler Shuck over Geno. That's fine, I guess. But again, I'm not going to move Shuck at all until we see something. Do I trade Kamara for Scat as a contender? Yes, just take Scattaboo and run. In a Dynasty League, take Scattaboo. Take Scattaboo by far. Even as a contender, I'm fine doing it. Again, guys, we're going to move over here and start doing trade questions and blueprints tonight. If you want to get a team blueprint tonight on your Dynasty team, where I give you feedback on it, buys, sells, extra strategy points, etc., follow this link, this bit.ly that I just dropped in the comments. That is going to give you all the different options that are possible for you to get a team blueprint. If you are not a member on the site already, the first option is going to be for you. You'll sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier. Make sure it's the annual Mother Flocker tier, and make sure you use code DOMAIN. When you use code DOMAIN, you get a voucher, a free voucher that gives you a free team blueprint. What you can do is just submit that team blueprint, submit that voucher, and if you signed up on the stream tonight, again, signed up on the stream tonight, then I will do that blueprint for you live on the stream tonight as well. If you have already signed up and you're already currently a member, you obviously have that 30% discount for any additional a la carte purchases. That second button on the bit.ly, the second one, is the a la carte option, so you can get a live team blueprint. Make sure you select live team blueprint to get it done tonight. All right. Again, feel free to keep dropping your questions in the comments here, guys. I'll get to some of them when I can, but we are going to move over here and start doing trade questions and team blueprints tonight. And again, if you want me to talk about any other Dynasty players or like how I value them in positionally, cross-positionally, again, feel free to ask me, and I'm happy to look into that. But we got a lot of trade questions here, so let's get this show on the road. Oh, DDSS, I got your live team blueprint in, man. I appreciate you. You are in line. Miles419, actually, calling out Miles419. I know you wanted us to wait on Friday. When I was going to do it on Friday, you wanted to wait until Avery was back on Tuesday. Avery is sick today. Hopefully, he should be good by Friday when we stream on Friday. Let me know. Number one, let me know if you're on the stream. Number two, if you are on the stream, let me know if you want me to do it tonight for you or if you want to wait until Avery's back again and we'll just push it to Friday. Again, sorry about the inconvenience there. Can't help being sick. But I know you said you wanted both of us to do it last time, so I wanted to make sure you were getting taken care of there. All right, let's do this. So we got a trade question from Alec. Actually, let's start with the Dynasty one. Let's work our Dynasty brains. Justice Hill and Matthew Golden for JMO and Christian Kirk. Okay, so the value upside lies with Matthew Golden here. I think you're seeing how volatile Jameson Williams' value is in Dynasty at the moment. JMO's a low-key buy right now, honestly. But yeah, I would definitely stick with Matthew Golden here. He's very raw, developmental, but I think long-term, again, he does have the upside to be like a number one wide receiver option for the Green Bay Packers. And JMO, you just know exactly what his role is going to be, and it's already inconsistent. So not enough return here for Golden. If you're getting Golden, though, I like it. This is a Dynasty League start sit. We are looking at, first of all, let's see who's on bye here, because I always forget who's on bye. Always, all the time. Never, ever remember who's on bye on a weekly basis. It's so hard to keep track of. By the way, did any of you guys watch the baseball game yesterday? Went to 18 innings. They go to like 3 a.m. Eastern time or something. I woke up to check the score because it was like 5-5 at the bottom of the 8th or something. I was going to bed. And woke up 18 innings later. And they just intentionally walked Shohei after he went 4 for 4. Every single time he got to bat, they just intentionally walked him. And the Dodgers won anyways, which I thought was really funny. So we've got not as many bye weeks as last week. Still 4 bye weeks, though. We got the Browns, Jets, Eagles, and Bucks. Okay, so looking at this, Judkins, even if he was potentially available, is going to be on bye. So we got Kyron for sure, and then Derrick Henry. Awesome. I like Derrick Henry's rest of the season outlook. I think he'll bounce back here. Got to go Rome at wide receiver. And then at our flex, we're basically deciding between Nico, Adams, Marv, and Kimani Vidal. Let's go with Nico, assuming he's back healthy. And then, honestly, let's go with Devontae Adams. I don't trust Vidal on a weekly basis. I really don't. I'd rather go with the proven wide receivers here. If Nico is concussed, then we will go Kimani Vidal. But Marvin, startable. It does not look good for Marv. He's playing the Cowboys this week. So, like, hopefully he can be productive. But, again, crossing my fingers and hoping that it's going to work out is not something that I want to – it's not something I want to depend on if I can help it. And definitely want to go with Nico and Adams. Appreciate you, Rhino. Let's knock out a couple redraft here. I have HM, Rico K9, and Amon-Ra Sutton for running backs and wide receivers. Would you still do the deal if it was Sutton? Chase Brown and Tet and a redraft for Hampton and Rome. Yes. I would do this. And if it were Sutton, just so it's on the record, if this were Cortland Sutton and Chase Brown for Rome Odunze and Omari and Hampton, I would still do it. Yes, I'm fine doing this. Again, guys, if you want your trade questions answered tonight, just drop it in the comments here. Sorry, not drop it in the comments. Follow this link. There's a trade question option on there for you guys. And obviously, if you want a team blueprint as well. Okay, so we got Juice Wayne up next is another start sit. Javonte, CMC, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, hopefully he's back healthy. We'll see. Roma Dunze, CeeDee Lamb, George Kittle. Then at flex, we're looking between Sutton, Higgins, Tet, and Chase Brown. Okay, this is a good question. Tet, I don't really feel super great about starting him at the moment. He's playing the Packers. It's a so-so matchup for him. We got Cortland Sutton taking on... Who are they taking on this week? Where are you, Broncos? Houston. Let's go with Sutton and let's go with Higgins. No, I do not believe in Chase Brown yet. I'd be conservative with Chase Brown. I think he got higher upside with both of these guys. So Ninope says Ashton, Jency, and Worthy for Henderson, Crosby, Merritt, Devonta Smith, and Tucker Kraft. No. Henderson and Crosby, Merritt aren't startable. No. You got to stick with Jency and Worthy here. I know you're getting Tucker Kraft. Yay. I would much rather stream tight end and take your upside shot, stick with your upside shot at running back than do this for a tight end. We'll stick with Jency here. The Charbonnet and Marks for Drake May and a 1 QB. You have Caleb Williams. You have Judkins, Bijan, Hampton, Benson. Good wide receiver room. Sure. If you want to raise your upside at running back, sure. I'm fine with this. Drake May's the top 4 quarterback in fantasy right now. It's a Dynasty question. This is BTJ for QJ Ferguson, a 26 first, 3rd and Franklin. You can throw those out. The first is my first back. I'm 4-4 tied for 5th. This is too big of a down tier. You need to get better assets in return here. You need to get less assets, and they need to be more bigger. I don't want QJ in this deal. Getting your first back is fine. But I would rather get a better wide receiver than QJ. This isn't good enough for me, honestly. If you're gonna sell low on BTJ already, I want to get a little bit of a better return. This type of deal, when you're getting that many assets in return for one player, that generally means the value upside of every single one of those players is just not as high as it should be. It just doesn't sit well. We got a question from Ronnie here. This is Jalen Waddle and Gadsden for James Cook in a 3rd. That's a fair deal. This is a fair deal. Gadsden looking really, really good. I'm assuming you need the running back help here. Yeah, you definitely need the running back help. You're reloading here. Okay, this does kind of change it though, honestly. Like, why are you doing this if you're reloading? I would rather sell these guys individually. Some of the trades that I've seen go down for Gadsden are pretty high. I don't want to do this if you're reloading. I'd rather hold Waddle and Gadsden. This is a redraft. This is Bucky and AJ Brown for Mahomes, Jency, and BTJ. Nice upgrade at QB. Afraid of the lack of news on Bucky. What are your thoughts? I mean, you got major question marks with Jency and BTJ rest of the season compared to for all the question marks that you get in BTJ or in Bucky right now with his injury status. You have just as many with Jency and just his production status rest of the season. How about this? Do this without the AJ Brown and BTJ swap, and I'm good with it. This is what I would do. It's more the AJ Brown for BTJ one that I don't love. Lamar for 2 firsts in a 1 QB 12 team. I'm assuming you've got. Are you contending here? No, you're reloading. Let me look at. Could you get. Can you take out the second? Try to get. Honestly, I like Olave over Golden. Try 2 firsts in Olave. Do that instead, and I'm good with it. Beckwith, J2, this is a first and a second for Derrick Henry and Sutton. This is one that you regret long term. I'm not trading first for these players. What I would do, if you're going to make this type of move, is I would trade a first and a second for AJ Brown. I would do this. Even that doesn't sit super well with me, honestly, though. Ugh, I changed my mind. I'm holding the first and the second here. I would rather move players than future picks. Here, like Benson and like Keon Coleman. Do like Benson and Keon in a second or something. Or even like Burden and Keon. Try that. I'd rather do that. Redraft Kipat says Woody, Mark, Xavier Worthy, and Sutton for Garrett Wilson and Dobbins. Sutton and Wilson, that is an upgrade there. Let's say Sutton and Marks for Wilson and then Worthy for Dobbins. Yeah, I'm good with this deal. This is fair. I'm good making this move. I'd take the Wilson and Dobbins side. Dobbins is a good target right now. A lot of people are like, oh, Harvey's finally going to dominate. This is his coming out party. And like, yeah, he's looking really good, but the volume has not gone down for Dobbins. Dynasty, this is London and a first for Bowers. Absolutely not. You take London in the first. This is the trade that we're trying to avoid. This is the trade that we're trying to avoid for a tight end like Brock Bowers. If you are on the receiving end of this and you're getting London and the first, then I am all for getting London in the first. But do not trade London plus a first to get Brock Bowers. No. In a vacuum, we prefer London over Brock Bowers straight up. Got this offer today, Vice City says. He's tanking, would like a better counter to help my team compete. Thank you, 3 and 5. Okay, Woody Marks and Jordan Addison and Trey McBride for Bowers, Kamara in a second. No. Again, we don't view McBride and Bowers that far apart, and you're giving up Addison on top. Not in Dynasty. Nope. Especially as a 3 and 5 team, you want the Addison and McBride side. I'm straight up. I'm not making this deal. I'm holding. I'm holding off on doing any sort of upgrade at tight end. If anything, I'm moving McBride for a cornerstone wide receiver. I'm not tearing up to get Brock Bowers. Let me know if that makes sense, Vice. This is Amon-Ra on a first for Puka. Already made this trade for Puka. How did I do? If you're a top contender in your league, I don't hate it. I don't think it's bad. Probably would have liked to give up a lesser asset than a first on top of Amon-Ra to get Puka, but I don't hate the deal. I think it's a fine move. I'll call it fair. When does Infinite Blueprint go out? Drew Conroy, we always send out an announcement in the Discord when Infinite Blueprints are available on a weekly basis during this season. So stay tuned. Also, just stay tuned and make sure that you are following the announcements page on the Discord, because that's when we let you guys know. Okay, Vinny. This is Rico Dowdle and Tyler Warren for Garrett Wilson. You're moving an elite tight end for a borderline top 12 wide receiver, ROS. I'll take Garrett Wilson here. A first for Tucker Kraft. Fair deal. I'm fine with it. I generally don't love trading big draft capital for an elite tight end, but I think this is more than fair. I'm totally fine with this for Kraft. Gadgets. This is Herbert and Gibbs and Adams in a 1QB12 by 8. Jacobs, Igbuka, and Bowers. I actually like this side. I like the Jacobs, Igbuka side. That's very rare. Generally deals involving elite tight ends I think are massive overpays, but I don't hate this deal at all. Jacobs and Gibbs ROS I don't think are super far apart, honestly. And Adams versus Igbuka, I prefer Igbuka rest of the season. And then you're getting Bowers for a QB and a 1QB. And just string QB. Good move. All right, we got some more trade questions here. Mighty Thunder, what's up, man? He said he would take either of Judkins or Cook. So this is a dynasty. You're moving Judkins for Justin Herbert in a Superflex in a 10 team. Ooh, in a 10 team, this is a lot closer. Who do you have at QB? Lamar and Allen. You have Lamar and Allen and Lawrence. There's zero reason you should be making this deal. No. What? There's Mighty Thunder. You don't want to do this. First of all, it's a 10 team, so the value of QBs in a Superflex 10 team are already lower because you're only starting 20 on a weekly basis as opposed to 24. Quinshawn is already moving up quite a bit. James Cook just coming off a 33-point game. You can actually start these guys. You can't start Herbert. You're starting Lamar and Allen every single week. Herbert is a waste of an investment there. No need. Take Judkins and hold Judkins and Cook there. Miles said one until Friday for review. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, no problem, man. Again, sorry for the delay there. Sorry that that we are sick. I hope I'm not sick by Friday. I've been chugging water all day. I do not want to get sick. I'm a complete baby when I get sick, especially when it's a stomach bug. Me and stomach bug, we don't go well together. Marv and Breece Hall. Don't know what to do with Marv. I want Breece. What's your advice? Well, let me make sure this makes sense for you. You have Barkley, you have JT, you have Lamb, you have Puka, you have Odunze, you have Tet, you have Kittle. Yeah, and a start 9. Yeah, you need the running back more than you need the wide receiver. I'll call this fair. I'm fine making this move. If you can get a little something on top, then I would try to get a little something on top. Try to get Dobbins on top as a streamable flex option, and I'm good with this move. It's fair. I think Marv long term is solid, but again, like for your specific situation, just go ahead and take the production now. Get the emergency stuff as a lifesaver. Well, I hope I don't have to. That's what I'm saying. I'm not the one that's sick. I'm streaming from home by myself because Avery is the one that's out for the count. But, we're always together, so. Okay, so D-Bomb, this is a dynasty. This is a first and Luther Burden for Javonte and Warren. Again, this is something that I like to generally avoid. I would hold the first and Burden here. I don't hate the idea as a contender of getting Javonte and Warren, but I would rather do something like this. Instead of giving away the draft capital, why don't we do Kamara, Marks, and Burden for Javonte and Warren? Let's do that instead. Then I'll take Javonte and Warren. Opticlone, what's up, man? This is a redraft. This is Breece Hall, QJ, and AJ Brown for Hampton and JJ. Oh, boy. Can you afford having no Hampton for a while? You have JT, you have it all. Oh, you have it all. Okay, if that's the case, then yes, I'll take Jefferson. That's a fine deal. Dudley says 2 seconds in Daniel Jones for Purdy and Woody Marks. 2 QB, 10 team Dynasty, start 11. Ugh. I mean, if you're contending this year and you are not, you're close to, you might be, I'm not sure. I'll call it fair. I'll call it fair up to into Purdy, but it's getting pretty close. What the? What do you mean? Ugh. Of course it did. I just have to refresh. It's so annoying. Oh, he took the subway all the time. It's nice preventative. Okay. That's good to know. Dude, I never thought about that. Public transport is pretty dirty. It's probably like Armageddon out there in the winter. All right, so Dudley, you heard what I said earlier, but I'll call it fair deal on that move. We got Lions, Javonte and Bowers for Puka. Yes. In Dynasty, this is yes. This is the type of deal involving Brock Bowers that I would look for. And again, I like Javonte. This is nothing against Javonte, but from a Dynasty perspective, like you much prefer Puka Nacua for long term than you do either of those guys combined. Nice deal, Lions. For my trade question, all players get 0.25 points per carry. Okay, yeah. I mean, that bumps up running back value as a whole, cross-positionally, compared to wide receiver, tight end, etc. I still like Puka there, though. All right, let me make some notes here. All right, we're gonna start with Ryan's here tonight. And again, guys, if you want to get your team blueprint done tonight, then feel free to submit your team blueprint by following this link. There are 2 options there. If you are a member already on the site, that second option is the a la carte option. If you are a codomain member or have another code on the site, then you just purchase the live team blueprint with that a la carte option. If you are not a member on the site, then you can sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier and get a free team blueprint that I will do live on the stream for you tonight if you sign up on the stream. Make sure you use code domain, follow that first option on the bit.ly, and it'll walk you through everything you need to do there. Just biggest thing, make sure you use code domain. When you sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier, you're not just getting the team review, you are also getting all of the perks on the site, all of the rankings that I was just working through on the site with you guys, talking about different players. You'll get all the expert rankings there. You'll get all the trade calculator resources, the draft guides in season, off season, etc. Not to mention exclusive Discord access in the domain Discord with our community there as well. Peter said, is it too late to get my Infinite Blueprint reviewed on stream? Peter, if you already submitted your Infinite Blueprint, like earlier today or yesterday, a couple days ago, if you've already submitted it, again, and it says in progress, then we've already started on it for you. If not, we've already sent it to you. If you are talking about submitting or purchasing an Infinite Blueprint, then I can do that live on the stream for you tonight. But like the actual, the weekly update, if you're talking about the weekly update, we don't do the weekly update ones live on the stream. If you want your initial though, like if you're purchasing a team review to be on the Infinite Blueprint and you're buying that a la carte option, then I'll do that for you on the stream tonight. No problem. All right, Ryan, let's start with your team here, man. Team name is Detroit's Dynasty. And looking at you in the My Teams tool, you're 6th and you're 3 and 5 in terms of points for. You are 9th and points against. You are middle of the road. So middle of the pack in terms of value, 3 and 5. Probably looking at a reload here. And yeah, just based on what I'm seeing here, that's definitely what we are going to lean. But let's grade out everything by position. Jalen Hurts and Aaron Rodgers again. This is a 1 QB. We're going to give you an 8 there at quarterback. Again, rushing upside QB. Love it. Sam Laporta at tight end is going to be like a 7. Chuba Hubbard, Jalen Warren, Zach Charbonnet is going to be good for like a 3. And the wide receivers, Flowers, Worthy, Higgins, J-Mo, Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, Josh Downs, Wando Robinson. Hello, depth. That's a 6. Maybe a 7. I'll give you a 7. I'll give you a 6 at tight end, honestly, because Laporta's lost some value. 8376, 1-year reload, records 3 and 5. I don't think we necessarily have the upside here or the value to make like significant up tiers to maximize the production upside of your starting lineup. So we'll build for the future here, and it looks like you've already kind of done that because you do have an extra first in 2026. Oh, that's cool. A little pop-up. Isn't that nice? Pop-up for the picks. I'd like to see more details about the pick when that pops up, though. So we got pop-up for all the players. See, isn't that nice? Boom. It's handy-dandy. Perks of having the My Teams tool on the site if you're an annual Mother Flocker member. Shameless plug. Okay, so moves that I would probably want you to make on this team. I mean, number one thing that I want to look at here, honestly, is just as a reload, let's eliminate as much value volatility as possible. During the year. And again, the way you can do that is kind of by offloading a lot of your productive vets to contenders at a premium. Again, a lot of contenders have had a lot of productive assets that have gone down with injury. I mean, insert Cam Scatteraboo, right? And they need to get a guy that's going to fill those shoes, and they will absolutely overpay to salvage their season and their outlook for another contending guy, another productive guy that's going to help kind of bridge the gap of production that they lost when that player went down with injury, whoever it may have been. So we are going to take Chuba Hubbard and Jalen Warren at running back, and we're going to go for safer long-term assets. We're going to take Devontae Adams and Cortland Sutton. We're going to go for younger assets. Those are both productive vets. Then we're going to take Sam Laporta. We're going to go other position as well. Again, tight end is just not a big priority of ours when we're making, when we're building for the future as a reload. I'd also add in the comments, Shop Downs, Wandale, DK, Kimani Vidal. By DK, I mean Chimera DK. Charbonnet. again, I would be shopping a lot of the guys that you currently own for the right price. Basically, anyone who's going to offer short-term production upside for a contending team in their flex spot now, or even as an insurance play right now, and that value is just not going to carry over into the offseason because they all have capped value ceilings. So with these targets, again, you've already been targeting rookie picks, which is great. The more rookie picks you can get, the better. But some younger guys with value upside. I mean, at the running back position, I think RJ Harvey has pretty solid value upside. I think Trey Benson has good value upside. He's a good target before he comes back healthy in a couple of weeks. We've got Matthew Golden in that range, right? Travis Hunter is also in that range. Chris Olave. Basically, any player that has yet to reach their value ceiling. Actually, as a reload, Scadaboo is not a bad target either. Trying to buy low on Scadaboo right now with the injury is something I would try to capitalize on, because you can probably get him at a big discount from someone in your league. Let me know if that makes sense, man. Again, we're moving Chuba, Jalen Warren, Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, Sam Laporta for other positions. Trey Benson, Scadaboo, Travis Hunter, and Chris Olave are going to be your targets there as a reload. Basically, any player that has yet to reach their value ceiling, their value upside is much higher than what they're currently being priced. That's how you play the market. That's how you get value wins that look like maybe small value wins now, but turn into potentially big value wins in the future. Any follow-ups, any questions on this, feel free to send me a DM or just let me know if you're in the stream, and you can ask him on the stream here as well. Watching the Dodgers game. Oh, it's already going on tonight. Isn't Shohei pitching tonight? I think Shohei is pitching tonight. All right, a call out here. We've got New Wasabi here. New Wasabi, let me know if you're on the stream here tonight. Calling out New Wasabi. First call out for New Wasabi. If you're on the stream tonight, we'll do yours. JD Frank, actually you sent me the league ID in the chat, so let me get another page set up here. Just a second, guys, bear with me. Fantasy, my teams. Well, let's get this in here. Submit. Okay, so we are looking at JD Franks, which is C.S. Slater Alligator. Here we go. I'm going to use a My Teams tool. They're all pulled up here. And again, guys, feel free to, if you want to get a live team blueprint tonight, I will do that for you on the stream. You can buy the a la carte option. which is available on the on this bit.ly link. It's the second option there if you want to buy a la carte. If you want to sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier using code DOMAIN and you do that on the stream tonight, use your free voucher, submit it, and I will do that on the stream for you tonight. All right, so we are looking at See Us Later. 4-4. In terms of points for, you are 9th in points for. This is a 12 team. Points against, you are 11th in points against, and 4-4. Okay. No first in 2026. So that is significant when we're looking at like analysis here on what we want you to do this season. But let's start at the quarterback position, because I definitely think that's going to be your biggest weakness here, at least in terms of value. I do think it's very serviceable, though, honestly. Dak Prescott as your QB1 is totally fine. Tua as your QB2 is pretty shaky. Geno as your QB3 is even more shaky, but we can work with it. It's a 4 at QB. We've got Quinshawn, Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, Alvin Kamara, Rashad White at running back, which is going to be good for a 6. We got BTJ, Nico T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Chris Godwin, Jacoby Myers, Tez Johnson at wide receiver, which is probably going to be another 6. And then we have George Kittle, Oronde Gadsden, David Njoku at tight end, which is going to be at least a 7, maybe an 8. Okay, you're 4-4, towards the bottom of the league in points for, towards the bottom of the league in points against. Do you have enough assets to move around here for me to feel good about you still going for it this year? Look, there's very little incentive for you to fold right now when you can make a little bit of a push based on a couple of pivots that I'm going to recommend here. And that'll kind of change, and that could change the outlook of your team this season. We're going to go well-rounded, contend, reload. Oh, this is a 1 QB, by the way, so having Dak is totally fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. You have a decent amount of depth, honestly. Yeah, no, we're going to contend here. So here's what I want to do. I'm not going to lie. There are very few trades involving BTJ right now. Pardon me. Had to get my charger. There are very few trades involving BTJ at the moment that I like or prefer the BTJ side on, which tells me that BTJ's value at the moment is very insulated. He's not necessarily being priced where market value, where some public market value places are telling us he's being priced. Keep your gut. I would shop BTJ if I were you, and I would try to pivot to another wide receiver that we feel more comfortable about. I mean, if you have to pay a depth piece on top of BTJ to get Rashee Rice, by all freaking means, do it. And the same, honestly, is going to apply here to Nico Collins. I don't really think that Nico Collins' outlook this season is any better than a guy like Lab McConkey's, and it sure as heck isn't better situationally. Then our third move is definitely going to lie at tight end. You have Kittle, Gadsden, and Njoku. I'm selling one of Kittle or Gadsden, dude. Probably Kittle. But again, if you get better value for Gadsden, then I would move him. So I'm going to add that in the comments. Move one of Kittle, Gadsden, whichever, whoever draws more interest / value return. Whoever's more interesting there to your league mates, whatever they're willing to pay for, I would sell that one. Don't trade any more draft capital for the foreseeable future, aside from your remaining 26 picks. Again, your second and third, if you want to throw those in to get deals done, to get up tiers done. If you have to pay BTJ in a second to get Rashee Rice, I would do it. Dude, I saw that too, Lions. Saw someone in the Discord get 3 firsts and Kyler for Gadsden. I mean, that is psychotic. Spartan said, just joined, still doing live blueprints if I buy one. Yes, Spartan. If you get a live team blueprint tonight, I will do it for you. We got room tonight. Appreciate you. So Rashee Rice is an option there, wide receiver. I mentioned Ladd McConkey as well. I think Ladd is another solid option at the position. I'm going to give you a third wide receiver target as well because we're a little shaky in terms of depth at that position. I really like Zay Flowers' price at the moment. I think he's a good target to go for. He's pretty cheap, pretty affordable. But then running back, this is one where I would just go ahead and get Javonte. Just take the production now. It's really going to raise your upside at running back. Would really help with Judkins and Brees already there. Yeah, I just feel good about adding him. You have enough depth here to make a couple of up tiers, so don't be afraid to do that. Mainly at running back. Like, I'm looking at running back. I'm like, yeah, that's a good amount of depth. You can package Rashad White, Kamara, ETN, some combo of that, and get an upgrade at running back. And it's worth it because this is a start 8 format. This is a 12x8. It's not a 12x10. It's not super deep or anything like that. Whatever's going to maximize the production upside of your flex spots is what we're going to want to prioritize here. So BTJ pivot, Nico pivot, Kittle, Gads, another position, Javonte, Rashee Rice, Ladd, and Zay Flowers are going to be your targets here. Let me know if you have any questions or follow-ups on this, man. But again, we'll get this delivered to you, the full blueprint delivered to you in the next 24 hours. Next up, we got a couple of trade questions that we can answer here. I'm going to do another call out for Wasabi. New Wasabi, another call out for you, man. Let us know if you're here on stream. Guns Blazing 82, I got you, brother. Appreciate you. And Spartan as well. Spartan, I'm assuming your Guns Blazing? Or maybe let me refresh here and see if it's somebody. See if it's coming through. When are you going to do a tab for Dynasty Leagues that shows single season rankings? I mean, you're essentially asking for ROS rankings, right? Like what we think their production outlook is going to be the rest of the season. I'm sure we can offer that at some point in the future. Awesome, Spartan. I got you, man. Appreciate you. All right, we got a couple of trade questions from Tanner. Have depth for days, only an 8-team league, but thoughts. James Cook, ETM Warren for Hampton, Odunze, McBride. Kyron and H-Chan at running back. This is an 8x7. No, there's no need to do this. You have Rashee and JSN, who I would much rather start over Odunze. And then you have Achane, Cook, and Kyron every single week. And then you have to start a QB and you have to start a tight end. And you have Tyler Warren. This isn't worth the upgrade at tight end, in my opinion. I would stick with your guys at running back. If anything, I would leave James Cook out of the deal. And you could do this if you wanted to. This is a decent upgrade. I would do that for McBride. If you're trying to get an upgrade at tight end and that's your main focus, then do this. SDK, this is a second Chase Brown for Chuba and JMO. A second for JMO. I'll call it fair. I don't mind you making this move if you're a contender and you need a flexible option, an extra flexible option. That's fine with me. All right, we got Yes, I'm AJ up next. He said, I've been so unlucky this season, third most points for, and I'm 4-4. Do I need to change anything up or just sit back and pray? Dude, I've got one of my best Dynasty teams. I'm in the same boat as you. I'm 4-4, which is really annoying. But the good thing is I'm 4-4, right? I'm not 3-5. I'm not 2-6 or anything like that. Like I'm well in the mix. And I just have to go on the run at the end of the season. But I had a couple of injuries. I had like a brutal bye week session this week. But I'm pretty much full strength from here on out. So let's take a look at your team and see what we think here. But I mean, I would assume, yeah, no, rest of the season you're looking pretty good here. So let's grade this out and take a look. We got Josh Allen, JJ McCarthy at QB. He's going to be good for a 7 right now. Bijan, Harvey, JCM at running back is going to be like a 5. Jamar Chase, JSN, Rome, Marv, Godwin, Downs, Taylor Getborn. It's going to be a 9. And then Gadsden is going to be a Gadsden and Hawk. I'll give you a 5 or a 6. I'll give you a 6. Those grades are going to continue to get higher with Gadsden if he keeps this going. Yes, Connor, I'm doing trade questions. Feel free to submit. Okay, so been so unlucky this season. Yeah, we're already looking at this. Sorry, brain fart. Okay, so 7.596 at your positional grades. Wide receiver factory for sure. Contend reload. Okay, number one move that I want to look at. I don't really super duper trust JJ McCarthy right now. I'm going to pivot to a guy that I feel a little more comfortable with is going to be consistently productive this season. Because you'll definitely need that in your super flex spot to raise your floor. Let's take TJ Hawkinson and let's go other position. I would also just pivot off of Krosky Merritt as well. Krosky Merritt and Marv, really Marv and Krosky Merritt. I would pivot off Marv and get Ladd, and you can flex Ladd every single week. See, okay, like I'm not trying to like cope or say that, you know, we actually were right or anything like that. No, like we were wrong. Our take on Marvin Harrison was wrong in that we said we were very, very confident that he was going to increase in value this season. We were totally wrong about that. The reason we were very confident in advocating to invest in him is we knew that worst case scenario, if it didn't work out with Marv, he was still going to be worth enough that you could cash out and get about what you paid for him at the beginning of the season. And that has reigned true with Marv. I mean, when you were paying Ladd to get Marv in the offseason, you can pay Marv to get Ladd right now. And the followers like BCJ, you know, those types of guys. So really not too bad. Again, it's not ideal, but for a contender, it's like, yeah, you feel good enough about cashing out on him where it's not like going to kill you. Denick, so sorry. We are working on getting those sent out like ASAP. We were just talking about that yesterday. Okay, so if we're pivoting from J.J. McCarthy right now, and we're looking at his current market value, kind of in the same range as like a Jared Goff, Sam Darnold, a Daniel Jones as well. I'll give you Goff. TJ Hawkinson, when we're going other position, you can go for a productive running back. I would probably target like a Swift, especially when you're moving off of like a JCM or something. Let's get you another running back. Swift would be like the cheaper running back that I have you target. If you're moving Marv, you could also look for a running back as well, and I wouldn't have an issue with it. Jacobs is right there. I'll probably go for Jacobs. Don't think you could pull off James Cook, but you could probably pull off Jacobs. And then I'll give you, what did I say, Ladd earlier? Ladd is a pivot option. So Jared Goff, Josh Jacobs, DeAndre Swift, and Ladd McConkey. If you end up moving Marv for a running back like Jacobs, then you can just target a cheaper guy like Zay Flowers as your fourth wide receiver option. Going to be league dependent, True Conroy. It really is going to be league dependent there. Again, I might be overestimating for some leagues. I might be underestimating for some leagues. I think it depends. But you can definitely get something relevant for Hawkinson, even if you have to include a depth piece. I mean, try Hawkinson and Downs for a productive running back, right? And I was just going to add that. Feel free to use your wide receiver depth to get some significant upgrades done. Another thing that I would look into, again, is just maximize that RB2 and flex spot upside as much as possible. And then last thing that I would consider here is consider down tiering from Josh Allen to get another elite running back too, or to get another elite running back. I think that would really help your outlook this season as a top contender in this league. Been trying to move Hawk and Pollard all season and no takers. Yeah, I mean, in your league that might be the case. Pollard, I totally understand. Hawkinson, I understand too, honestly. But yes, I'm AJ. Let me know if you have any questions about this, any follow-ups. And I'm happy to answer those for you. But again, your strength here is definitely going to be wide receiver, the upside that Chase and Jigba and Rome offer on a weekly basis. And I think that's going to really help propel you to being a favorite in this league. Bad luck to start the season, but you're 500, you're going to be fine. We got a team from LL44. LL44, let me know if you are in the stream. If you're on the stream, I can do that live for you if that's what you were intending. If not, then don't say anything because you're not on the stream. Got Tedious Fisherman. I got your live in as well. I appreciate you, man. Again, guys, if you want to get your team reviewed tonight, follow this link that I'm dropping in the chat right now. It's also pinned. Follow that bit.ly. Number one option up top is the annual Mother Flocker tier. If you have not joined the annual Mother Flocker tier, use code DOMAIN. So only work if you use code DOMAIN. You'll get a free team review voucher, a free team blueprint voucher. You submit that team blueprint on the stream tonight. Sign up tonight with the annual Mother Flocker tier, and I will do it on the stream for you tonight. If you are already a member or you don't do that type of thing, in terms of if you're anti-sub, then you can do the a la carte option as well and purchase the live team blueprint. I will do that on the stream for you tonight as well. All right, next up, we got DDSS 699. Nice, very nice. Gilby submitted a trade question. First, a second in London for Neighbors Benson in a second. Yeah, no. You're giving up a first on top of London when they're in the same tier right now, and one of them is injured and one of them is actually producing. I would do this. I would do London in a second for Neighbors Benson in a second. This I would do, but I would not do the first deal. Thanks, Gilby. All right, Didi, let's check this out. Open to work, he says. Open to work here is... Did I miss it? Yes. Third in the league in terms of power rankings, 2 and 6 right now. Whoo-wee. What are you in points for? Okay, you're 10th in points for. Points against, 7th in points against as well. Okay, so definitely going to be reloading here. You do have a lot of future picks. I already know what this archetype is going to be. Let's grade it out. You said high in the power rankings, but a bad record. 101 is in play, 103 at worst. Looking for ways to improve this roster. Awesome. Well, this is not a bad roster at all in terms of having a nice future value outlook. I think that's probably what I'm going to lean your archetype is. You got a lot of young assets. Got some younger guys. Got future rookie picks as well mixed in with your values. So let's grade this out. This is a Superflex 12-team start 11, so a deeper league. PPR, no tight end premium. Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, I'll give you an 8 there. You have Bucky, RJ Harvey at running back, which is a 4. Emeka Worthy Higgins is a 6. And then we have Fannin, which is a 4 at tight ends. This is a future value team. With all your picks, you're going to have a solid rookie pick grade. Again, you're 2 and 6 for a reason, because you got some inconsistent youth here. You've got the injury in Bucky Irving. You've got the slow start with Harvey. You've got Jaden Daniels going in and out with injuries. So just been a tough year. But again, the value in the insulation is absolutely there. First move that I want to look at here is down tiering from Jaden Daniels. I'm not anti-Jaden Daniels. I have no problem with Jaden Daniels as a dynasty asset right now. The issue is owning him and holding him on your team as a future value outlook roster that has needs and has holes elsewhere at skill positions that matter a little more than you and your current status at QB. It's worth down tiering, still maintaining that insulation at QB while just getting a lesser valued QB at the moment in Superflex formats and getting a plus on top, which would help bolster running back or wide receiver. So I would down tier from Neighbors from Daniels, and I would go to Burrow. Burrow, by the way, is going to be back in December. Going to take Harold Fannin. We're going to go other position. Tight end is just not a priority of ours as a future value. It's mainly wide receiver. Said my thought too regarding Jaden Aline there. Awesome. That's good to know. And then Bucky Irving. Honestly, I'm going to add this in the comments. I wouldn't be super hasty. Don't be hasty. I wouldn't be too quick to sell Bucky yet. You can start shopping Bucky once he's back healthy and producing, and I'm sure you'll get an overpay or like what he should be valued at from a contender at that point. But no need to rush selling him now. But you'll have some contender who wants to, pay big bucks for, make a big splash, make a big push heading into the playoffs and get a guy like Bucky who's very capable of doing that for their team. Could be a mutually beneficial type of deal. Igbuka, Ladd, Worthy, Higgins probably holding every single one of those guys. So glad I waited because I was working Bucky trades in my head today. Yeah, I mean, again, like I had that in the comments as like waiting, be patient, but don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I definitely want you to shop Bucky Irving. Like once he's back healthy, like I've got him in the look to trade section for you. So I want you to like stay open to offers, but I wouldn't force anything until you're getting really what he should be worth, if not more, once he's back healthy. This is more of a like over the next couple of weeks. Get ready to wheel and deal involving Bucky Irving offers. I would go for a cornerstone wide receiver when you're making that trade. I would also continue to target 26 picks at a discount from contending teams in your league. As far as other targets go, Joe Burrow, again, was my first target there. If we're moving Harold Fannin, there are some younger guys in that range that I like a little bit more. Harvey actually being one of them, and you own Harvey, but Golden is a pretty solid target for your team. I'll give you Golden at wide receiver. If we're shopping Bucky, where I think he's going to be priced soon once he's back healthy, would definitely be like an Odunze type. I would target Odunze. And then, man, I would go for Hampton or Scadaboo right now at a discount. I would target. I'll give you Scadaboo. Screw it. I'll give you Hampton. Feel free to target young, injured assets that have a high value ceiling long term. So that would be Neighbors, that would be Hampton, that would be Scadaboo, etc. Those types of guys. I'm sure more will come as the season progresses, as bad as injuries have been this season. Danny, what's up, dude? I saw Sal's comments in the Flock League. I thought it was pretty funny. I was like, I made that trade and it was just crickets. It was like crickets for 5 hours. And then Sal came in and it was like we just burned the house down or something. I thought it was funny. Which, who knows? He could end up being totally right, and I could end up being totally wrong. But again, do I care? Not nearly as much as I did last season. And here's the big difference. And I'm on stream here. Danny's on stream. So this is me and Danny having our conversation. And I know Danny, I know you preferred your side because you took the deal. Here is the fundamental difference between the trade that I made last year involving Jefferson and the trade that I just made this year in the Flock League involving Jefferson. Because Sal was comparing them, saying that they were the same. Actually, that this one was worse for me than the one that I made last year. Do you know what Kyren and Pittman amounted to last year? I mean, Kyren was solid. Kyren was solid last year. Honestly, in terms of points per game, Jefferson and Kyren were only a couple of points per game apart. Pittman was unstartable, borderline waiver level, and Goddard was hurt all year. I traded away Brock Bowers and Justin Jefferson, who were top 3 assets at their respective positions all year long, in exchange for half of those guys being unstartable, like literally unstartable. So the mistake that I did is I took an elite guy like Justin Jefferson and I down tiered. The complete opposite. I'm spoiling the move that I made, by the way. Sorry guys, I can't help myself. I'm doing it again. This is going to be in the Flock League video tomorrow, I'm sure. Danny, send this link to Nick, because I'm on a stream right now. I can't do it. Take this live stream link, clip it, and send it to Nick. But the fundamental difference is I did an abysmal down tier from Justin Jefferson last year. This is the complete opposite, where I packaged assets together and I got the second or third most productive asset in fantasy football. Like, this is a totally different outlook than it was last season. And again, I'm not even like, I wouldn't even say that if you told me at the end of the year that I lost this trade, I would not be shocked in any way whatsoever. Again, I've said like 5 times, I'm going scorched earth with this roster. I am so sick and tired of my roster that I drafted in the Flock League this year. I'm done with it. And if it ends up costing me, literally who cares? It's already cost me. I'm 3-5 and I'm not making the playoffs with this team. There's no chance. So yeah, I'm going to take an upside shot and I'm going to go for it, and I'm going to up tier to Puka Nacua. At least I'm not down tiering to, insert a different player not named Michael Pittman, since that's what he's doing this year. Essentially trading Jefferson and down tiering to like Breece Hall and Keon Coleman. Like, I don't know. At least I'm not doing that this year. So there you go. There's my spiel. And that's why I think that it's literally completely different than to compare it to last year's trade. I think is like fundamentally not even on the same playing field, because it's not the same type of deal. Like, that whole deal was focused around me getting depth. And the whole reason Sal was making a stink about this trade is like, oh, then you just threw in Jordan Addison. Yeah, because Jordan Addison was not, he was not doing it for me. He wasn't. And yeah, he was productive, and Jefferson was fine and productive. It wasn't doing it for me at the end of the day in terms of actually winning me games, because I'm 3-5. So yeah, none of those guys are going to sniff 40 points consistently. And Puka's actually capable of doing it. So no, could I lose this trade? Abso-freaking-lutely, I could lose this trade. And I don't care, because I have Puka Nacua on my team. So I'll go down having fun. And if I go to Denny's, I will wear Puka Nacua's jersey happily on my way to Denny's. And I will be in there for 24 hours because I can't eat pancakes. I deserve it because I lost to Badaki. And guess what? I lost to Badaki. You're making a stink about me trading away Jefferson and Addison. I just lost to Badaki with Jefferson and Addison on my team in my starting lineup. That's inexcusable. So there. Getting arguably the best player we've ever seen in fantasy gives you a puncher's chance in any matchup. Exactly. And that's what I need, is a puncher's chance. I need a puncher's chance at the end of the year when I'm in the toilet bowl, because I'm in the toilet bowl. Hurts have to give him my spot against Sammy. I need it. But yeah, like, lad, again, you don't have to sugarcoat it either. You took the deal for a reason, and I'm sure you think that you got a slam dunk on the deal. And you probably did. Like, good for you. I honestly, rest of the season, I really like Derrick Henry. Like, there is a reason I wasn't planning on trading away Derrick Henry, and it's because I think rest of the season, he's a running back 1. Because Lamar is back, the defense looks better, so they're not going to have to sling it all day, which is a better game script on a weekly basis for Derrick Henry to be productive. But he was like, yeah, and you got Jaylen Warren thrown back. Jaylen Warren has been out-producing Derrick Henry the first half of the year. Like, you act like he's a nothing burger. And not you, Danny, but Sal. Message me when the stream's done so we can record. Yeah, I both end up winning on it. Yeah, it could end up definitely being a win-win in our respective situations because, again, I'm essentially a non-factor in this league, and you are a playoff factor, so this could end up benefiting both of us. It gives me the upside shot that I need at the end of the year. It gives you the better flex options. Really, flex being a better flex, or Addison being a good flex option for you. Just bought a jersey, too, for Puka. That's actually really funny. Rip. Yeah, I wouldn't have dealt him cheaper. That's the funny thing to me too, is like every deal involving Puka Nacua this year has been like the one that was offered to me from Zach was way pricier than the one that you offered me for Puka. Like I don't think, and this is where I don't like understand the disconnect. I'm like, Sal, I tried to get JT from you a month ago, and you sent me essentially the exact same offer, but it was worse. Like, again, he wanted Jefferson and Derrick Henry essentially straight up for Jonathan Taylor. You know, he was going to throw in DJ Moore. DJ Moore's not startable. Like, that is essentially the same type of deal structure that we made here. And now he's saying that it's just abysmal. I'm like, do you remember what Puka Nacua did before he went down with the ankle injury? Badaki says, I've got everybody popping in the stream here. Are we going to get everybody from the Flock League in the stream? Don't let him talk to you like that. I'm not letting him talk to you about that. I just ranted for 5 minutes. Again, this is not like, here's the thing. I am totally okay with people in the Flock League preferring the Jefferson and Derrick Henry side. I have zero issue with you preferring that side. In fact, if I think, like, I would genuinely be surprised if a majority of people in the league preferred the Puka Nacua side. Genuinely. But can you not at least, like, this is not even on the same level. This is not even on the same level as the discussion that we were having with my Jefferson trade last year when I was like emotionally in shambles. Like this year, it just, everyone in the league at this point would kill to have Puka Nacua on their team at the expense of their depth. And right now, I'm being completely honest. Short term, I don't have a depth issue. Like I have 20-point upside with Wandell in my flex, which is just as good as what Addison's upside is with JJ McCarthy coming in at quarterback. JJ McCarthy can't throw the ball more than 25 times. He can't even stay on the field enough to throw the ball 25 times a game. Oh, gosh. It triggered me on so many levels because as far as like, okay, I know what deals have been offered in terms of like what Puka could go for in this league. And that was far from abysmal, far from like the definition of abysmal. Realistically, my option was Puka plus Bam Spears type versus Jefferson Addison, and felt a stronger flex to help me give how complete plus rosters are. Yeah, so you're saying you would have done like Puka plus a tiny piece for Jefferson and Addison, like just Jefferson and Addison. Like, yeah, that would have made sense as well. Sal hates 99% of my deals, including the Nico deal from last year. I'm being fully transparent. Even an inch cheaper, I wouldn't have done it, to be honest. Okay, yeah, like, and I don't think you're crazy for that, Danny. Like, you weren't. Sal acts like it was the biggest King's ransom of all time. Puka Nacua was averaging 25 points per game. 25. And again, I'm not trying to talk down the players that I just offloaded saying that like I won. I'm well aware of what Jefferson's upside and capability is. He's Justin freaking Jefferson. Like if anyone's going to transcend situation, it's Justin Jefferson. But good gosh, I will be totally honest as well. I was so sick of watching Minnesota just scraping by trying to get both of those guys involved. Turns my lineup just need to be more complete. Yeah, and like your biggest weakness, Danny, I mean, you solved your biggest weakness. I helped you solve your biggest weakness, and I hope this helps your team. And it definitely does, because your flex just got a lot more dangerous. Like you're essentially in the same boat as I was at the beginning of the season, where like my flexes looked really good. I had Addison and Garrett Wilson in flex. And it was really nice every single week. And then I got decimated with injuries. So seeing Loveland in there spooked me. Yeah. I will say I got a bunch of clips that I'm going to drop in the flock chat here for Nick pretty soon. I didn't have time to upload them because I had to go on the stream. But literally, like, I thought it was so funny because just out of nowhere, I was just doing team reviews and stuff. I was just doing team blueprints for work during the day. And I dropped in, I was like, okay, screw it. I'm going to put Justin Jefferson on the trade block and just see what happens. And I didn't get any takers. And then I literally was like, okay, I'm going to make like a provocative statement. And I was like, if I say something about Mason, people are going to get ticked, or Mason's not going to be able to shut up, and then people are going to get involved. I make the comment about Mason, and then he does like exactly what I wanted him to do, just to create demand. And he, you know, goes out there and he just totally tries to get under your skin. He's like, you won't trade Puka. And you're like, bet. And again, you ended up getting a good deal. So I thought it was really funny the way it all progressed. Because if we're being totally honest, like I can't like, I don't think that we would have gotten a deal done for Puka if Mason hadn't done that in the comments. So I was proud of you for actually sticking to your guns there. I thought that was pretty good. Sorry Spartan. I got totally distracted. I had to talk about it. But no, I'm not done with Team Blueprints. We're still going strong here. Sorry for the pause there. All right, here we go. Back to Blueprints. But yeah, I'm sure, you know, the Flock League chat is like the hub for just let's all destroy Nathan. So I'm sure in the YouTube comments tomorrow, it's going to be absolutely brutal. Which literally I could not care less. I could not care less. You're good, Danny. You're good. I appreciate you popping in. And Badaki too. Badaki popped in too. Thank you. Thank you much. Okay, so getting back to this one. Sorry, Didi. I got very distracted. Asked a few questions above. Okay, let me answer them here. So you said, any thoughts of trying to upgrade wide receiver by sending maybe a T or a Worthy in a first, or just acquire picks? Yeah. So if you want to do Worthy in a first, actually, and get an up tier there. Oh wait, no. You're okay. So as a reload, never mind. I changed my mind here. As a reload, I would probably not be looking to do an up tier unless you're selling not your own first, but the other first, because that other first is a league mate in here that's contending, correct? No, he's tailor-made, actually, and he's 3 and 5. No, I'm holding both of those first, dude. I would hold both of those first. The only reason I would sell tailor-made's first is if you did like Worthy and that first for like Malik Neighbors. Otherwise, I would just stick with your guys. Wish I could grab Neighbors, but owner is basically a ghost in the league. Yeah, if he's a ghost in the league, that sucks. Like, that's very unfortunate. But you could try Hampton. I mentioned Hampton as well. I've got Hampton as a target for you. I trade for a second while you can. I'm not sure what player we're talking about here. Okay, you got it. Okay, cool. What do you think about Scout with his injury? What is his realistic value? Well, his realistic value before the injury was a 26 first straight up. On a contending team, I traded a 26 first for Scatterboo. And luckily I had Tyron Tracy as a handcuff, but I think I would try a couple of seconds for Scatterboo, honestly. Yes, sir. Will do, Danny. Will do. Hey, another call out to LL44, and guys in the chat, let me know if I missed LL44 in the chat. I don't think I saw him. This is another call out for LL44. If you are on the stream and you meant to buy a live blueprint, I can do the infinite for you live. Just let me know. But I don't think he's here. So All right, Didi. Feel free to continue to ask me follow-ups on this one. I'm happy to help you out. Overall, this is a solid roster. Like as a future value team, again, you just kind of had some bad luck this year with injuries. But you've gotten a good number of value wins here. Igbuka was a big value win. Phantom was a big value win. Worthy and Higgins have obviously maintained. Ladd has lost a little. Bucky has maintained. Harvey's going to continue to gain. So you're in good shape here. Yeah, no problem, dude. Appreciate you. Okay, Carlos said, hey, I signed up for a blueprint. Did I have to do something specific for a live? Carlos, let me know what your Flock username is, and if you submitted, again, I'm going to refresh here. Let me know what your Flock username is. If you already submitted like earlier today or yesterday or something like that, and your team says in progress, then we've already worked on it for you. Or we've already started working on it for you. Again, just let me know what you mean there. All right, we got Guns Blazing up next, which is Spartan. Yeah, sorry, Spartan. No, I got totally sidetracked. I couldn't help myself. We do have a start sit from Andy Mint, which we'll do Spartan's team review first here, and then we'll do the start sit. Okay, a lot of work from the last blueprint I got currently, trying to move off T for something more consistent like Pittman. Okay, so Hawks-a-Lot is team name here. You are third in the power rankings. You are 6-2, so in pretty good shape here as a contender. Heck yeah, dude. New Wasabi. Oh yeah, Carlos, I did a few call outs for you earlier. If you were on the stream and you got on stream, which you did, I can do that live for you. Yeah, sorry, I did not. If you had responded to the call out earlier, then I must have missed you. So that was my bad. I've got you up next. Okay, so let's do grades for this one. Starting at the quarterback position. So Drake May, Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith in a 12-team super flex. Start 10, half PPR non-tight end premium. That's pretty good. I'll give you a 7 at QB, honestly, at this point. Not bad at all. Javonte, ETN, Benson, Chase Brown, Jalen Warren, Tootin, Spears, very serviceable. Kamani Vidal as well. I mean, it ended up being a very serviceable running back room. I mean, for you fading running back and it working out to the extent that it has, I mean, this is very, very impressive. So I will give you a 5 at running back, honestly. Puka, London, Waddle, Higgins, Hunter. That's going to be, I'll give you an 8. And then Trey McBride and Gadsden is, I mean, at this point, this is going to be a 10. So 7, 5, 8, 10. We're going to go well-rounded, contend, reload. Okay. So moves that I want you to make. I know you said you were considering shopping T. Higgins for like Pittman Plus. I don't dislike the idea. Here's the issue with that. Javonte and Etienne are your top 2 running backs. Your flex spots are Higgins and Hunter. Realistically, you're toying with the idea of flexing Chase Brown, Jalen Warren, Gadsden now, And soon going to be Trey Benson as well once he's back healthy. That's like 4 different guys that you're looking at potentially flexing in addition to the guys that you already are moving. So if you're down tiering again from T. Higgins to Pittman, you've got to be getting an up tier somewhere else, or you're just going to be trying to figure out who to start every single week. Jason Dutch, welcome to Domain Fricker, bro. Appreciate you joining. Becoming a Domain Fricker. So I think here's what I want to focus on first before we look at a T. Higgins move to get like Michael Pittman. Number one, if you are going to move T. Higgins, look, I really like Michael Pittman. But if you want to get more consistent production, I would be moving T. Higgins to get like a Chris Olave. They are very, very close to each other, and Chris Olave's consistent production is very similar to Michael Pittman's. So if you are going to do a move, let's do a pivot instead of a down tier there. You said maybe try to move off Vidal while you can. 7H John did it. Yeah, I agree with that. Probably would look at shopping Vidal. But let's look at running back. Like let's take Chase Brown and Travis Etienne, and let's try to up tier. Chase Brown and Etienne are kind of short-term rentals that I think their floor is pretty low, but their value has been propped up because they've been productive. A lot of people are going to say, oh, Chase Brown is on the up. You're probably going to get better return than you have for the first time since the offseason for Chase Brown. And then Travis Etienne, if you package those guys, I would go try and get a higher upside productive vet like Josh Jacobs. McBride and Gadsden, you have both of those guys. I mean, you really just hit on Gadsden. It's a good situation to have. Realistically, you don't need both of them. I'm going to add that in the comments. I would shop one of your tight ends. Shop one of your tight ends. If you get an overpay for Gadsden, capitalize. If you get an elite running back or wide receiver for McBride, that is also an option. Why is Chase Brown so bad long term? Good question. So he is in the, third year of his rookie deal or fourth? Third year of his rookie deal this season. He's never been an efficient running back. Even last season, he was very inefficient in terms of yards per reception, like as a receiving threat, which we've seen like long-term insulation historically for those guys are generally not great. As a runner, he is not. He's average to below average in terms of efficiency there as well. You can just tell. You can tell this season that they're definitely deficient in the run game. And Chase Brown, again, some would attribute that to the offensive line. I think it's a little bit of both. But the reality is, I mean, the ups of a guy like Joe Mixon were much better than what we've seen in terms of the ups with Chase Brown. He's more of like a serviceable type of rental. And the fact that he was a day 3 pick, kind of on the older side in terms of like when he was drafted as a 23-year-old. Long term, it's probably going to incentivize Cincinnati to go back to getting a running back on a rookie deal than paying someone who already has a cap ceiling. It's kind of the reality of the running back position in the NFL right now. So other targets here are going to have Jacobs and Olave. There's some other trades too, like Tootin and Spears. I would just package those guys and up tier and go get like Swift. But again, I would just encourage you here to take advantage of your depth and look to make multiple up tiers to maximize that flex spot upside. Other target options here, again, like at the wide receiver position. I like Ladd McConkey. This is one, if you were to look at an up tier from T. Higgins instead of a down tier, you could do like T. Higgins plus one of your depth running backs and get up to Ladd. I would definitely do that. I think that would be a pretty nice upgrade. And then another running back, if you can't get Jacobs, you could try for Kyron Williams instead. Derrick Henry is another option. Honestly, that's a different value range, so I'll give you Derrick Henry as a different value range target. Jacobs, Henry, Ladd McConkey, and Chris Olave. And then last strategy point here. No need to move any more future draft capital for the foreseeable future. You have enough value to work with right now. I think you'll be fine to keep it safe and avoid moving any more future picks for a while. Do you have any questions on that, man? Please feel free to ask follow-ups in the comments here, and I'll be happy to help you. Spartan said, sounds good. I'll start shopping deals now. Hi, yeah, planning on not using any capital up. I'm just happy I have depth and youth. Yeah, I mean, that's the best thing to have, especially if you don't have draft capital. That's a good situation to be in. It gives you flexibility to make moves to win now, and you can kind of reevaluate draft capital later. But yeah. Appreciate you, man. Asone 96. I got your live blueprint in as well, man. Appreciate you. Excited to have hammers and hoping to make a deep run. Yeah. Yep. I think you definitely are capable of making a run here. You're 6-2. You're in really good shape to do that, I think. Mpigolski 128. I got you as well, man. Appreciate you. Would you take a 4 for Geno before he's worth nothing? 4th is already nothing. I would take a 3rd. Don't think you could do a 2nd at this point, but I'm fine taking a 3rd. You try a couple 3rds. I sold in a Dynasty league. I sold Darren Waller for 2 3rds. That was like the easiest value win of my life. All right, Andy, man, let's do your start sit here. We got Josh Allen at QB. Got Rashad White, Judkins, Harvey. Judkins on bye. Rashad White on bye. We'll go Harvey. He's the only guy left, basically. Who's your last flex, essentially, here? Igbuka, Hunter, Mooney, Gadsden. Definitely Igbuka. And Hunter or Tet or Gadsden. Honestly, Gadsden's looking to be potentially a better start than Tet. Ugh. I'll go with Tet this week. We'll give one more week for Tet. Thanks, Andy. Hudson is here. Tedious Fisherman. Awesome. Got you, brother. You are second in line here. Again, guys, we have room for a few more tonight still. So if you want to get your, if you want to get a team blueprint, follow that link. If you are not a member already on the site, you can sign up for the annual Motherflocker tier on the stream tonight. Use code domain. submit that voucher, submit your team, link your team with that voucher for a team blueprint, and I will do that on the stream for you tonight. That is the first option there on the Bitly if you are already a member, or you just want to buy the a la carte option straight up for the team blueprint. That is the second option on that Bitly for you guys. All right, new Wasabi. Let's look at this. This one is Carlos. Hey, this is the first year of a Dynasty. Half my league mates were drafting older vets, so I went the super young route. League mates were throwing around first picks, so I ended up breaking down my team into a first year, one year reload. It's a league of long-time buddies. Awesome. So need some love. You're number one in the power rankings because you have so much draft capital. I mean, it's going to be a future value through and through. But let's grade it out properly. Starting with in a 1 QB, 12 by 7. Okay, 12 by 7. Interesting. We have Josh Allen and Drake May, which is an easy 10. It's actually overkill at QB. That's going to be the move that we have you make here. Number one move that we have you make here is move off one of those guys. Colson Loveland going to be a 5. Dave Montgomery, Bishop Tootin is a 1 in a 12 by 7. Romo Dunze, Tet, Jaden Higgins, Tyreek, Cup, fall off. That'll be good for like a 4 in a 12 by 7. I'll give you a 5. 10-1-5-5 future value team because you have 5 firsts in 2026, 4 firsts in 2027. Not a ton of depth here, which again is not of primary focus in a 12 by 7, which is a note that I want to make in your strategy points in a you don't want to down tier too much. Make sure to maximize starting lineup upside with the value of those picks long term. Yeah, I got you, man. Appreciate you. I'm excited to look into it. Hey, Dutch, submit a ticket in the Blueprint Help channel on the Discord, and we will get the Infinite Blueprint figured out for you. If you haven't received that. Okay, so trades in terms of players that I want you to deal here. I mean, honestly, the one that really stands out to me is Josh Allen. Like, you have, that's also comment number 2. Here is 2 top 5 QBs in a 1 QB format is overkill. Invest in running back or wide receiver. And oh, by the way, when you are trading, just a general rule of thumb as a hard rebuild or 1 year reload, make sure you target assets that have yet to reach their value ceiling so you can build value wins. But yeah, definitely. I mean, you've done a lot of the hard work so far in that you have a lot of picks and you kind of just have to sit on them right now to let them reach maturity. But yeah, I would take Montgomery and Tootin, and I really would take Montgomery. Montgomery specifically, and we'll just go higher value upside. And then some older vets like Cooper Kupp, Trey Harris, Alec Pierce. Again, I'm kind of grasping for straws here down low, but you've again offloaded most of the assets that you can already and already turn them into draft capital. But definitely, I mean, number one move is we got to trade Josh Allen on this team. But yeah, I'm going to have you target, again, just value upside shots. Luther Burden. Brandon Ayuk. When we're going other position for Hampton, that's where I would target Neighbors. Sorry, other position for Allen. That's when I would target Neighbors or Omari and Hampton. Those are going to be the two big name targets for you, with the biggest move here being Josh Allen. Is the number one, got to do it. You've got to trade Allen, and if for whatever reason your league doesn't have interest in him, then sell Drake May at a premium instead. But no need, zero reason to have both of those guys on the same team in a 1 QB format. They're just 30 points every single week is just sitting on your bench. Not worth it. It's a waste of value that could be spent on starting lineup guys. So let me know if you have any questions on this one. Carlos said, should I be packaging first for elite assets or spread the wealth among as many valuable assets? So the number one thing that you need to do is you need to sit on your picks and you need to wait for them to reach maturity. So I would not be shopping those picks until they reach max value next April. Now, what I would plan on doing by the time that you get to that time is packaging a couple of those picks and getting some up tiers done, because really in a 12x7 upside is everything, depth doesn't matter. And you can get elite level players. But I'm not spending those picks now to get players, no. But another thing that I'm not doing is I'm not down tiering further from Rome Odunze or Ted McMillan. That's already essentially as low as I want to go in terms of the assets that I'm targeting in this league. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you have any follow-ups on that, man. But again, long-term, I think you're going to be in good shape. You're going to have a lot of value flexibility. Is it an easy ship Allen over May, or room for debate between either? Room for debate for either, whoever you get more value return for. I would wager that you're going to get better return for Josh Allen, so I would start with him. If you're going to get the same amount of return for either one, then it's up to you. You decide who you want to move. All right, trade question from D-Bomb. Looking for receivers, Devonta Smith and Burden for Devontae and Walker. No. Trying to get running backs to contend. Yeah, no, you would need... What would you need here? I would literally only do this maybe. Devonta Smith and Devonta Smith for Javonte and Adams. You're essentially down tiering from Devonte and you're getting Javonte on top. This I would do, and I think this is fair. All right, we got Tedious Fisherman here. I know you said you were in the stream, so I got you, brother. You said, I love tight ends. 4-4. No one will trade top 14 running backs unless it's an overpay. Traded Marv for London with a 26 and 27 first swap. Oh, nice deal. Nice trade. But now I can't rebuild and force to compete with no running backs. Can't trade Burrow for anything right now. I just feel like I have a lot of unattractive assets besides my core, CD, and London. So you can't trade away Burrow. That sucks. But you actually are fine because you have Dart, Lawrence, and Stafford, so you can easily get by with that. And you're on a 1 QB? You're fine. You're totally fine at QB. I mean, you're feeling really good with Dart every single week. Sorry, fans. Would you down tier Jaden to Penix and Tet on a future value team if Burrow wasn't attainable? That's a little too far for my liking in a super flex format. I would try, if you can't down tier to Burrow, you could try Mahomes, you could try Caleb Williams. And then I would take Tet on top of that, but Penix is too far of a down tier. It still is Jaden Daniels. Like, he's still a top 5 dynasty asset in super flex formats. Okay, so let's grade this out. Joe Burrow, Jackson Dart, Trevor Lawrence, Matt Stafford in a 1 QB is going to be an 8. Chuba Hubbard, Ja'Cory Cross, Merritt is a 2. CeeDee Lamb, Drake London, Emeka, Devonta Smith, Ellick. Good wide receiver room. Give you a 9. And then you have Fannin, which is like a 4 or 5. Fannin and Jawan. Okay. Here is your answer at the running back position. You ready for this? Luke Lindenmeyer submitted a team review about an hour ago. You'll be able to do it. Luke, let me know what your flock username is. I've done a ton of call outs on the stream here, so if you didn't hear the call outs, I probably moved you over, but just let me know what your flock username is, and I can bring you back if you meant to buy it live. Okay, so Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt, we're going to do a pivot from him. Since you can't get top 14 running backs in this league format, that's fine. We're just going to pay for more productive veterans in the lower tiers. So we will take Cross-Merritt and we'll take Chuba, actually, and we're going to up tier there. And then we're going to take Fannin, and we're going to move Fannin for a running back. I like Fannin. Fannin's great. He's real solid. I like running backs that are productive more. And you can get by with Juwan Johnson, no problem. Like, honestly, Juwan Johnson this season has been totally fine. 15, 15, 11, couple single digits, 12 and 10. Fannin has had multiple single-digit games this season as well. I mean, you're looking at very, very, very similar stuff. LL44, yeah, I got you, dude. I'll move you back over. No problemo. So those top two moves for sure, Chuba, Cross-Merritt, and then Harold Fannin. And your two targets here are going to be Javonte and Derrick Henry at running back. Another lower target is going to be DeAndre Swift. If you want to move Chuba for an individual running back, you could try Swift. If you're uncomfortable riding out the season with just Juwan Johnson, you can get another cheap tight ends like Kelsey, Njoku, etc. You know all the types of tight ends in that value range. Then a third move here. You do have Rico Dowdle, by the way. You could include Rico Dowdle in some of these moves. I would trade Rico. But let's take Ellick and let's pivot off of Ellick. You can get another productive guy. Again, these are kind of like lower value moves that are going to raise the production upside of your necessary starting assets every single week. So currently, Ellick Manor is very close to Khalil Shakir, to Deebo Samuel. once upon a time, he was value equivalent to Terry McLaurin. If you want to take the shot and move Alec for Alvin Kamara, heck, just do that. Take the shot on Alvin Kamara. You need running back more than anything. Like, that's your ticket to success in this league, man. If you can't get top 14 running backs, then get the cheap vets. Cheap high upside vets are the name of the game here. And then last bit of advice for this team that's looking to contend. Again, 4-4. No first next year, so I think you may as well go for it. Hold your remaining future picks for now, but also I would look to trade. Shop any / all of your QB depth when making trades to get running backs. If any of those guys move the needle, get the deal done, with the exception of Jackson Dart. So Lawrence or Stafford, like, just do it. Get it done. Do you have any questions on that, man? Your wide receiver room is phenomenal. You're a wide receiver factory through and through here. Just got to take care of running back, and we'll be good to go. Said this guy should target Dobbins. Yeah, no, that's another good option as well. Dobbins is a great productive vet running back that you could get for pennies on the dollar right now. Yeah, no problem, Hudson. So don't touch the receivers. No, I like literally Lamb, London, and Ibuka Smith. Every single one of them is valued right where they should be, and I wouldn't value them any less. So I don't think it's worth moving any of them for running backs at their current prices. Again, guys, we got a couple more spots tonight. If you want to get your team reviewed, follow that bit.ly link, sign up for the annual Mother Flocker tier, use code DOMAIN. It's on the first link in the bit.ly there, the first one up top. It's also pinned for you, but you follow that bit.ly, first option, annual Mother Flocker tier, use code DOMAIN, and then you'll get a free voucher applied to your account. Use that voucher when you go submit your team to be reviewed for a team blueprint. I will do that on the stream tonight for you. If you want to do the a la carte option, that's the second option on the bit.ly in that link that I just dropped there. And I will also do that live for you tonight. Just select live team blueprint. All right, LL44, which is Luke Lindenmeyer. Appreciate your support, man. This is tight end U. Brock Bowers. Heck yeah, tight end U. You are 5-3 in this league. Very not sure where to go from here for the season and for the future. We started up this year, and I wasn't really bought in until week 2. I wish I drafted better, but I made some good trades, bad trades, and now I'm here not sure if to try to contend or reload. Well, in terms of points for, you're right in the middle of the league, 5th. In terms of points against, you are 8th. But you do have Bowers coming back healthy here. I mean, you're 5th in points for with no Brock Bowers, and he is going to be back this week. We might even make some moves involving Brock Bowers to help your outlook even further. But in terms of contention on this team, I mean, I feel pretty good about it. This is a 12-team Superflex Start 9 PPR non-tight end premium. And starting at QB, let's grade this out. Brock Purdy, Bo Nix, that's it. I'll give you a 6. Hampton, Tootin, Dobbins, Pacheco drop-off. Probably a 4. JSN Odunze, Worthy, QJ. It's going to be a solid 7. And then Brock Bowers is a 10. We're going to go well-rounded, contend, reload here. Definitely flex spots in RB2. RB in general is going to be a big concern. But we're going to make some moves here. Okay, so Hampton not going to be back for a minute, so we kind of got to survive until then. I'm not really bullish on moving Omarion Hampton right now in Dynasty, so I would avoid that if you can. Who's first do you have in this league? Tanner Turch. Tanner's is 11th. He's 1-7. I would be holding that first. Strategy point number 1 for this team. Hold Tanner's first in this league. It's looking to be very early. If not the 101. So that's looking to be probably the 101. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Okay. So first move that's going to lie here, I know you're probably not going to like this, but Brock Bowers, I would down tier or get another position entirely for Brock Bowers. We'll start with the down tier because you don't really have anybody viable beyond him. I'll give you Tyler Warren as a down tier target at tight end. And again, the main objective behind this is to get help at running back and wide receiver. It's just worth doing. At wide receiver, I would pivot off of both Worthy and QJ. Because there are guys who have similar value upside and they're just producing at a higher level right now compared to both of those guys. They're more consistent, aka Zay Flowers. And then I would move Tootin and Pacheco, and I would up tier at running back. Target cheap RB vets in the short term while Hampton is out. I also would explore down tiers. Explore potential down tiers from Bo Nix to help bolster running back further. I mean, all the targets I'm going to give you here remaining are going to be running back targets. Tyler Warren obviously going to be that down tier target from Brock Bowers. A nice running back target that I think you could get right now is DeAndre Swift. And then Worthy and QJ when we're pivoting off of both of those guys at wide receiver. I'm going to give you Chris Olave. And I'm going to give you Zay Flowers. Swift, Olave, Flowers, and Tyler Warren are going to be your targets here. Again, don't undersell Brock Bowers, but the purpose is to get extra help at running back. Whatever the plus is on top, it should be a very solid, viable, productive running back on top when you're down tiering from some of those bigger guys. So Bowers down tier, Worthy, QJ pivot, Tootin, Pacheco up tier, Swift, Olave, Flowers, and Warren are going to be your targets here. Let me know if you have any questions or follow-ups on that, man. And appreciate you hopping in tonight. As far as the Infinite Blueprint goes, we are going to send you the Infinite Blueprint registration link with your initial blueprint. So make sure you don't miss that. send you the link to sign up for that. And then we'll get that sent to you every single week during the season. All right, Crispy, I got you as well, man. All right, Sohn is up next. So let's check this out. Team name is Sohn 96. They usually come out on Thursday, give or take, every week. All right, so you are, in terms of the power rankings here, you are 8th in the power rankings, 0-16. This is a very lopsided league. This number 1 team up here is loaded. Oh my gosh. Championship lock. Honestly, you have some decent assets here. This is a future value team because you have so many picks. Golly. A lot of picks here. So this is a Superflex 10 team. PPR, half-tight and premium. Brock Purdy alone at QB is like a 3. Harvey is alone a 2. Romadunze, Lat McConkey, Pearsall, Burden, I'll give you a 5. And then Colson Levin also going to be a 5. Lots of picks here over the next few years. So we're going to go future value, rebuild, contend. So specific trades that I want you to make here. I mean, Rome, don't want to move him. Ladd, don't want to move him. Purdy, don't necessarily want to move him, but we could shop him. I'm open to down tiering from Purdy because he still is ranked significantly higher than like Goff and Dak right now. So I'm fine down tiering to like Goff if you want to. And then we'll take Ricky Pearsall. We'll pivot off of him. Try to get a guy that has a little higher value upside. And then let's just take like any option down here that is going to offer any sort of short-term production for anyone in your league that's contending, like Coker and Trey Tucker. I would just trade like Coker and Trey Tucker for literally anything, like picks, thirds. I would take thirds for them. I'd rather have thirds on this team than Coker and Trey Tucker. Mainly these moves are going to entail like the Ricky Pearsall move and the Brock Purdy down tier. So Ayuk is definitely going to be a target. I think Benson is another good target at the running back position. And then Pearsall, if you want to pivot from him. Gosh, he's maintained. He's dipped a little bit because of the injury, but still, I mean, there are guys in that value range that I just prefer straight up over him. Zay Flowers being one of them. Go ahead and target Zay Flowers. Move off Pearsall. If you can get any young injured assets at a discount, like a significant discount, I would capitalize. Be patient during this rebuild and let those rookie picks reach max value next offseason. And then again, just continue to play the market as much as you can this year and build small value wins. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, very, very systematic with our future values, with our rebuilds, with our reloads. Just kind of holding onto the guys that we know are very insulated and have not reached their value ceiling, and then making any necessary down tiers that help kind of spread out your value a little bit more. And then sticking with those picks that you've already invested in and just letting them reach peak value in the off season, then it's going to be go time. Let me know if that makes sense and if you have any questions on that, man. Appreciate you. All right, next up here we're gonna have Nick. I'm aware my QB room is rough as can be. My plan is to draft 1 to 2 QBs next draft unless I can make a deal. Okay, so I'm assuming this is a future value / rebuild that we're gonna be looking at next for Nick. Nicholas, I assume you go by Nick, right? Is that acceptable? Let me know if it's acceptable. Team name is Brock Busters. So you have Brock Purdy or Brock Bowers? Brock Bowers he has. Okay. Who's the number 1 tight end room in this league? Bryden Ferguson and Gadsden will do the trick over Bowers and Fannin. Okay, cool. That'll do it. Okay. So let's grade this out. This is he said, yes, sir. Nick's fine. Sweet. All right. So we got Michael Penix, Bryce Young at QB, which is like a 3. Tops. We have Genty, QJ, Scattaboo, Tootin. Nice. I like that. I like that a lot. I'll give you a 7 there. Drake London, Marv. Screw it. I'll give you an 8. Drake London, Marv, Flowers, Hunter Downs. That's a 7. And then Bowers is a 10. So 3, 8, 7, 10. 3 first next year, 2 first the following year. It's a true future value team. This is a future value team that's in very good shape to be successful long term. 3 and 5. You had both. Sold Purdy. Okay, cool. So, Nick, I don't know if you've toyed with this idea or looked at it. Have you shopped Brock Bowers? Just started this year. Okay, cool. Have you shopped Bowers? Have you shopped Fannin? Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's shop Fannin this time. I will have you stick with Bowers for the moment at least, but definitely want to go other position with Harold Fannin. I'm going to start with that move. Genty got to hold him. Quinshon got to hold him. Scattaboo got to hold him, especially because of the injuries. London, Marv, Flowers, Hunter, Downs. Let's take Downs. I'm not going to lie. All your moves. You said just put him on the block, Bowers. Okay, sweet. So I'm going to have you shop him as well. And again, you're already doing that. I agree with you. I would down tier from Bowers. I'll have you down tier to Warren. You could down tier lower than that if you wanted to, though. You could go to Kraft. You could go to Ferguson Plus. Probably Kraft. I think that's what I would be looking at there. And then our third move, again, because you have so many holds here at running back and wide receiver, go ahead and let's take Downs and let's go higher value upside. And that could literally just be picks. If you can only get like a second or something for Josh Downs, I'd rather have the second, honestly. But Harold Phantom, when we're going other position, I would go ahead and target a wide receiver like a Matthew Golden type. And then let's try to get some players that are a little higher up here when we're down tiering from Brocketh. If you want to lock in like some insulation at the wide receiver position, I would target Chris Olave. Another option also is Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith, Chris Olave, Matthew Golden, and Tyler Warren. Mainly wide receiver targets here because you got running back on lockdown long term. Could try either. What would I ask on top? Probably someone in the value range, somewhere in the value range of like a Chris Olave, Devonta Smith type on top of Tyler Warren. Shoot for the stars. You can try higher. You can always try higher. Again, just shop, be aggressive, and then work your way down from there, but don't go too low, right? You don't want to undersell Brock Bowers. And that is a strategy point I'll add. Don't undersell Bowers. Make sure you get good value return, and you feel free to wait until he starts producing again. You could also consider just flipping Bowers for Hampton or Neighbors straight up. Like, if you don't want to screw with the down tier or anything like that, then what you could do is just move Fannin for another tight end that you feel more comfortable with, or just hold Fannin, and then you can move Bowers straight up for a cornerstone wide receiver like Neighbors, who's injured, or you can move him for Hampton. And either one of those guys, I prefer them straight up over Brock Bowers. So I'll add that as an option in the comments for you here. And then last but not least, I would explore offers for Marv, see if you could get like Tet McMillan or Ladd McConkey. Ladd, Tet, or Garrett Wilson. Again, not like some people say like, oh, that's a sellout. It's more of like a pivot to a guy that's just as insulated and has solid value upside as well. I mean, value upside of Tet is equivalent to Marv. Value upside of Garrett Wilson, maybe not as high as Marv, but if he gets a good QB, it could be. The insulation of Ladd is so high. Sounds good to him. Awesome, Nick. Again, if you have any follow-ups or questions here, you think I should wait and draft QBs or try and buy now? Probably wait. Probably wait on the QBs unless you can get someone at a discount. If you can get Joe Burrow at a discount, like, go for it. I'm all for it. If you can find a way to get Burrow here, I mean, you could try Bowers for Burrow plus. That's another option as well. Be liberal with the type of returns that you're getting from Brock Bowers in terms of like positional return, not value return. You want to stick to your guns with the value return for Brock Bowers. Make sure you're getting what he's worth. But in terms of positionally, like quarterback, running back, wide receiver doesn't necessarily matter to me. I just prefer any one of those positions over tight end right now with the high end assets. Those 3 first will be top 5, hopefully, in the next draft. That's good to know. You're going to be in really good shape next year, dude. You're going to be, with those picks, if you let them reach maturity, like next year, you're going to be borderline elite value if you play your cards right. Because if you get your hands on some really insulated, solid cornerstone wide receivers, or some solid insulated QBs, you're already set at running back. And then you're going to get a ton of value return for those picks, whether you hold them or whether you move 1 or 2 of them. You're gonna be looking pretty good. Yep, Gilby, I've been answering all trade questions that have been coming in. So If you didn't see it, I would probably go check. It should have been a link, the stream mode link sent, or you can rewind the stream and see if I answered it. But I'm sure I did. Crispy said, struggling to pick starters every week because of injuries or buys. Don't know how to proceed. Most deals I've been probing at have to be overpays. Had trouble finding people to pay Hendo's value from rebuilders. First team has a lot of receivers asking for crazy prices. Okay, cool. Good to know. Yeah, no problem, Nick. I appreciate you. Team name is Crispy here. You are 9-7. In terms of points for, you are 4th, and you are 4th in points against. So, I mean, this is a pretty true 9-7 team that I do think is going to be a contender in this league. So, let's grade this out. Find ways that we can make this roster better. Oh, yeah. Yeah, nice team. Nate Cat. Where's Nate Cat? 11-5. Gosh. I wouldn't say it's a phony 11-5 necessarily, but he's definitely not that great. Guess if you want to move that first to get a significant upgrade at running back or wide receiver, I'm fine with it, especially if he makes the playoffs. Make sure that he's like guaranteed to make the playoffs, but at 11-5, it's going to be hard for him to miss the playoffs at this point. So that'll be, again, before I even grade anything here, that'll be comment number 1 for this team. Because that pick could get you something significant. Feel free to trade it. At QB, we've got Jaden Daniels, Brock Purdy, and Aaron Rodgers. Solid, complete. It's a 7 or an 8. I'll give you a 7. Quinshawn Jacobs, Henderson, Kamara, and Spears at running back. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll give you an 8 there. Odunze, I'll give you a 7. I'll give you a 7 at running back. Odunze, Wilson, Smith, Adams, Ayuk. That's probably a 6, and then Tyler Warren is an 8. So 7, 7, 6, 8. This is well-rounded through and through. Contend, reload. Definitely contending here. I like this team. So you said you're struggling to pick starters every single week. You know what that means. Actually, it's not because of you have a ton of depth. It's because you have injuries. Oh man, you're gonna hate this move, but this makes so much sense for your team. We got a down tier from Tyler Warren to like Jake Ferguson, and then we can use that to get some extra help at running back. I would move Henderson for, well, you said Henderson. Had trouble finding people to pay Hendo's value from rebuilders. Okay, so you can't move Henderson is what I'm gathering. If that's the case, you kind of have to hold him. I would also be looking at down tiering from Jaden Daniels. I would down tier from Daniels to Mahomes. Just, again, to these extra, the extra value that you're getting on top from both of these down tiers are going to help you get some big time improvements at running back and wide receiver. And that third move is probably going to be, I like Devonta Smith and Adams as guys that you're flexing every single week. You need them. I would up tier from Kamara, though. That'd be a big up tier that I would make. I'd go from Kamara. And I would try to probably get up to Javonte at running back. Give you a couple of bigger running back names because your wide receiver room as it stands is pretty solid. Odunze, Wilson, Smith, Adams, very serviceable as a contending team. Can totally get by with that, no problem. Like it's very complete. You have the high upside 1s, the very consistent high floor 2s, right? But running back is definitely something that we could get better at in your flex spots, and that would help you quite a bit. So your lower end target is going to be Javonte. Or Derrick Henry. You can put Derrick Henry in there as well. And then your higher end target is going to be probably Kyron Williams. Actually, I lied. Hello, Bucky Irving. Get Bucky Irving before he comes back healthy. We'll go Mahomes, Bucky, Javonte, and Jake Ferguson that are going to be your targets here. Again, focus on maximizing the production upside of your flex spots when trading. Running back is your main focus here. Wide receiver is pretty set for a contending run. Worth the downgrade at QB, tight end to get significant running back improvements. And again, your top two guys are great. You have Quinshawn and Jacobs, but Quinshawn's on bye. He's banged up. He might miss a week or two. So you do need some extra help there. And since you can't move Henderson, we do have to make some moves elsewhere to help bolster that position. Does that make sense, Crispy? Let me know if that makes sense. It says Henry guys, Mahomes as well would be a good offer for that. Yes. That works. So we would do Daniels for Mahomes and Derrick Henry and I would try to get Jalen Warren on top. Do you like Mahomes, Henry, and Warren? I really don't have any issue with doing that at all as a contender. If you wanted to get cuter with the type of deal, you could do like Mahomes and Henry for Daniels and Kamara, and then you could get another bigger name on top, like some sort of upgrade. Like you could move from like Devonta Smith up to Nico or something. You could try that in that deal. So and Crispy, keep me posted on like what types of deals your league man might be willing to make too, because I would like to see what he's willing to do. See if you could like maybe you could cook him on a trade. That is very possible. Maybe you could cook him to a crisp. Get it? Because your username is Crispy. I thought that was really funny and witty personally. I was really proud of that. But yeah, Crispy, you're going to be in good shape here. 9-7 start is totally fine. Especially when there's ways that we can get you better. Yeah, I don't think he'll go for that, but I'll try it. Yeah, okay. Just kind of mess around with different valuations, see who he values too high, who he values too low, and see if you can kind of get a nice value in from it. Bugged out on me again. Does it every time? All the time? Really haven't been able to get a deal done with him. Okay. Yeah, you can try same value range at QB. I mean, you could try a Caleb Williams owner in that league. You could try Hurts. Have you ever played Catan? Yes, I have. Catan is fun. Catan is great. I do like Settlers quite a bit. I haven't played it in a long time, but I do enjoy it. I'm a big like strategy. If you couldn't tell, since my job is Dynasty theory, I love super like intense strategy games. So like anything that has like a ton of elements working all at the same time, like I'm totally into. So some of the simpler ones, like Seven Wonders, I think are really fun. Splendor, Dominion, those types. Arctic Scavenger. Really, really, really into Everdell right now. Everdell is really, I mean, it is a long game, but it is so much fun. Wingspan we play a lot. My wife loves Wingspan. She destroys me in it every time, so it's really hard to not be in a bad mood when I play, but I do enjoy it. Yeah, I'm a super big, massive nerd. So I have a whole like game collection. So yeah, between my Star Wars Legos, Dynasty Theory being my lifetime job, and the ridiculous number of games that I have that I play a lot. Yeah. All right, Thomas, you just made the buzzer beater. That was a buzzer beater right there, because I was just about to log off. I got you, brother. This will be the last one of the night. Will be Thomas's team. Appreciate you, man. You literally, like, you just made it in. So, nice job. I just got Baker, Garrett Wilson, and McBride for Caleb, Igbuka, and Golden. Baker, Garrett Wilson, and McBride for Caleb, Igbuka, and Golden. McBride and Igbuka, fair. Wilson killed. That's a fair deal. I'm good with that move. Okay, so what's for dinner as a team name here? You are 6-2. Oh yeah, nice roster. I'm surprised. Okay, I'm surprised, Thomas. Let me know. Why did you trade for Trey McBride when you have Oronde Gadsden on the up? Hey, Bonbon, if you follow the bit.ly that is pinned in the chat, there's an option to sign up for the annual Motherflockers. You're using code DOMAIN, and you can get the team reviewed, or you can purchase a live team blueprint, which we can either do tonight or we can do on Friday. This is going to be my last one for the night. But let me know, Thomas, why we invested in Trey McBride with Gadsden kind of being on the up. Just wanted more security with McBride. Hated giving up Igbuka. I got you. And again, like value-wise, I think it was a fair deal. I didn't have any issue with the trade itself, like in terms of the value return you got. Is just like the advantage that you had at wide receiver. No problem, Bonbon. The advantage you had at wide receiver was pretty significant there. And it still is significant. I mean, you have a great wide receiver. Let's grade it out. And then we'll figure out what we want to do here. Drake May, Baker Mayfield, Tua is going to be an 8. You have Gibbs, Henderson, Walker, Benson, Kamara. That'll be a 7. And then we have Tet, Rasheed, Garrett Wilson, Agent Brown, JMO. I'll give you an 8 there. And then you have McBride and Gadsden, which will give you a 10. High and well-rounded, contend, reload. You're a top contender in this league. I mean, because at this point, dude, I'm basically going to be giving you up tiers. Because who do you have on your bench? You have JMO, you have Elick, you have Njoku, you have Gadsden, you have Walker, you have Kamara, you have Benson, you have Tua. You have multiple guys here on your bench that you can package and up tier to maximize your flex spot upside. Okay, so with those moves in mind, let's look at this. Here's the thing. With McBride, you got McBride, which I totally respect. I have no issue with McBride the player and what he offers. This is where I would trade a Rondé Gadsden though. And I would go other position. Again, I've seen some crazy prices for a Gadsden. I would shoot for the stars with him. I would shoot with the stars and try to get a running back here. Let's take Henderson and Walker and let's up tier at running back. That's going to be my second move. And then like Kamara, Spears, Rico. I'm basically trying to get like productive running backs because realistically, I would like to have productive running backs. Actually, let's take Tet and JMO and let's up tier. I like Tet McMillan as a contender. He's probably not going to be like the most consistent this season. And JMO definitely won't be. I never want to flex JMO on this team. So I would up tier there. Some solid productive running backs when we're up tiering from Henderson and Walker. I mean, I would try to get all the way up to, I'd be aggressive. I'd try to get to Achane. Another guy on the lower end, like if we're going to move Walker for an individual, just him straight up, I would go for Henry or Javonte. I'll give you Henry since we're going for it with a younger guy with Achane. And then I'll give you a couple of wide receiver options when we're up tiering from Tet McMillan. Let's try to get up to London. Or we can try to get up to... we can try Amon-Ra or London. Okay, one of those hopefully is achievable. What are some of the bottom teams in this league? This guy's 1-7, and he has Rome. Try to do Rome. I would target Rome on this team. I would try to target. He has Javonte. I'm changing my target from Derrick Henry to Javonte. You should definitely get Javonte off that 1-7 team for sure. Gads another position. Henderson, Walker up tier. Tet McMillan, JMO up tier. Achane, Javonte, Amon-Ra, and London. As you can tell based off the recommendations that I have for this team, I definitely want you to up tier. You said you have Newkens 26 first too, so it should be top 3. Awesome. And with that being the case, I would definitely plan on hold Newkens first. Since it's expected to be early. Last bit of advice that I would have for this team, again, running back I think is my primary focus here. Running back should be your primary focus when you're making moves. Don't be afraid of productive vets. If someone's offering you Josh Jacobs, Kyron Williams, Derrick Henry, Javonte for a fair price, then I wouldn't be afraid to capitalize there. If they are going to raise the upside of your starting lineup, then it is absolutely worth making the move. Does that make sense, Thomas? Do you have any questions on that? If I'm able to get Drake London from Milroe and Garrett Wilson, should I try to up tier from Tet? If you're throwing in Milroe on top of Garrett Wilson to get Drake London, I mean, just stop there. Like, absolutely 100% do that. The fact that Milroe is actually carrying value in a deal of that caliber is shocking to me, but I would definitely capitalize on that opportunity if you can do it. You could still look into dealing Tet for a different guy, even if you can get London. You could look at like a Tet and JMO for Amon-Ra. See if you could pull that off for sure. Explore every opportunity, every offer possible, but yeah, I don't think the ability to get a steal for Drake London has to go hand in hand with like whether you do or do not wheel and deal with Tet McMillan. I think you could do both. Yeah, no problem, man. Again, if you have any questions or follow-ups, feel free to reach out. All right, guys, we are going to call it there. Very productive night. Talked about a ton of stuff. Talked about rankings, Dynasty rankings. Talked about baseball. Talked about game theory. Talked about how much of a nerd I am because I have so many board games and so many like super high strategy games because I love it. I talked about, or we talked about plenty of teams tonight. A ton of teams that we reviewed. And talked about a potentially crazy deal that I made in the Flock League that I literally did. Half the reason was just so I could get Puka Naku on my team and have some bit of joy every single week. And again, really appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out tonight for as long as you did. Again, hopefully we are back together again on Friday, Avery and I, for the next Dynasty stream. Been a lot of craziness going on in life between travel, sickness, just busyness in general. But again, appreciate you all supporting and coming in and hanging out with me tonight regardless. And we will see you again soon. Cheers, everybody.